Evening, evening, evening. We're back. Well, we're not fully back, but yeah, hopefully not too long. Then we'll be back on our regular Tuesday slot. Big up everyone in the chat. Big up everyone watching at home. Beyond the Lane, episode 49. Yeah, hope you guys are all doing well. So tonight, there's a lot to dive into. What Spurs fans are seeing, how the season is going, the good, the bad, and the confusing. Eugene, how you doing, mate? Thank you for joining us. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on. Good to be on with you guys. Good talk to you, Nige, as well.
Thank you, mate. And Nige, how you been, mate? It's been a while.
It's good to be back, mate. It's good to be back, even if it is just for 1 week for now. But yeah, I'm good, mate. Big up, Eugene. Hi to everyone in chat. And Dan, how are you? How is fatherhood again?
Yeah, tired. I've got to say, I'm tired. I don't know. But look, I've got a couple of hours off tonight, so yeah, appreciate it. Good to jump on. Been a while, so I've missed it. So yeah, it's nice to be on. And big up to everyone in the chat. I'll say a few hellos in a minute. People watching, please smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new here, much appreciated. Subscribe to Nige as well. And so look, we're like 16 games into the season overall. There's already a bit of a mix of opinion, a mix of optimism, frustration, and plenty of debate around Thomas Frank already this early on in his tenure. So tonight, we're going to break it all down. Players' performances, style of play, the stats behind it all, and of course, how the manager is really getting on. So look, let's get into it. So this obviously is in the chat. If anyone's in there, just say a few hellos. Here we go. Here we go. Binny Guy, evening to you. Spurs are back well. It didn't take that long at all. Evening to you. Nigel says, smash the like button. Cheers, Nige. Big up, Mark. Don't you just hate the international breaks? Yeah, it's dull. Very dull. And Binny Guy, already read that one out. Mark saying hello to Eugene. Big up to Nige. Evening to Andrew as well. Thank you for being here. Hope you guys are all good. So, where do we start tonight? So, how would you describe the season so far in one word, or what feeling comes to mind and why? So let's start off with Eugene on that one.
One word, huh?
One word or feeling of just generally how you're feeling about how the season's gone so far.
I'm bored. Maybe that's one word for me. It's been boring. Doesn't mean it's necessarily all bad. Obviously, it's not all good, but just overall, yeah, I'm just, for the first time in a while, I'm bored. Because, like, for example, before, like under Ange, had strong feelings, strong positive feelings, strong negative feelings, right? Either it's all good or it's terrible. It's going wrong. Now it's just last maybe few weeks. I'm a bit bored.
Fair enough. No, I hear that. It's not been the most entertaining stuff, is it? And that home record, which we will get onto at some point. And people in the chat, how you feeling? I see Mark says he's feeling calm. Mark's saying, laugh out loud. Of course you are, Eugene.
Mark is my nemesis, so
that's good. Nige, what about you, buddy? How are you feeling?
Do you know what? I'm at peace with where Spurs are currently. Is it great? No. Are we playing amazing swashbuckling football? Is it getting me off my seat? Not really, no. But we finished 17th last season. We lost 22 games in the league. I don't think any of us expected us just to rock up this season and be smashing teams left, right, and centre. For me, this bit of calm, as Mark said, I'm quite enjoying the calm. The last 2 years has been, just like Eugene said, either really positive or really negative, really high or really low. It's just that bit of calm for the time being. I'm okay with it. Do I want the football to improve? Absolutely. But let's give Frank time. He has plenty of it. We've just started the season. I know 16 games in, but only 11 games into a Premier League season. So currently, I'm at peace with that. What about you, mate?
Oh, well, I just go to Mark's comment first. If you don't have the players, you won't play good football. So that's interesting looking at it. The lot you hear is that we don't have the players full stop or the quality of player, which I don't truly believe that. I think we can get more out of these lot. I really do if they set up in a different way. But again, it's all debatable, isn't it? It's all debatable. How I'm feeling, I just feel just bored. Yeah, in some games, I just feel like it's just that home record for me. Not being able to win at home is unacceptable, right? That Chelsea defeat it hurt. That was a real terrible performance. And then we played Man United, and the roller coaster of that match. That wasn't boring, was it, Eugene? I know. I think you said you didn't see that game.
Yeah, and
That was boring, but football wasn't great in that first half. Second half was a lot better. So I'm just looking for Frank and this team to improve. There's got to be some change on the way we're playing football. It's all too safe. It's too risk averse. We're not brave enough, especially at home. And Frank needs to come up with a solution. I know we got injuries, I know, and that's going to impact. Hopefully we'll get a few back soon. But something's got to change because it's a tough run coming up. It's great having that away record, which has surprised me. I didn't expect us to be unbeaten on the road, but at home, it's just not good enough. And I expect that to improve. I really do, guys.
And
What do you reckon?
can I ask you a quick question, Dan?
Sure.
So if you flipped the away form and the away form was our home form and the home form was our away form, would you feel the same way?
But I feel the
Big up,
same way.
or is it literally our home form?
Yeah, big up,
like the
Ghosted.
big issue.
It'd be different, wouldn't it? Because you got to win your home games. Away from home, if it was like all defeats, I wouldn't be happy either. But it's not just the defeats, Nige. It's the football. Yeah, the football at home is very painful. It's not very inventive at all. It's too safe. I'm not enjoying watching Spurs, and this is what it is when you support your club. You want to enjoy some games, right? You want to see some wins. Yeah, you want to see a little bit of progression. You're going to lose games, of course, but it's the way you're losing games, and it's all a bit too. It's a bit worrying so far. Look, it's early. Frank's, there's obviously time. Get some players back from injury. You hoped things improve, but what I've seen right now, it's especially that home form, it's very worrying. Anyone want to add anything?
yeah, I mean, my biggest issue, and I've been saying it from maybe game 4, kind of, I have this strange arc with Frank. I didn't want him to come in. I wanted Glasner. But after a few games, the PSG game, Man City, Burnley, I saw good signs. I'm like, oh, I'm actually seeing a plan. I'm seeing what he's trying to do. And the big thing for me was, once like watching all the streams, all the videos, looking into him, he's supposed to be adaptable, right? He improves players. He's the project manager that we need. So after the first few games, I was excited, especially when he switched to back 3 against PSG. So I expected that to continue. But for some reason, since those few games, we actually were getting worse. And it's not even about the results. I know people are pointing at the table. For me, if we're not going to win the league this year, which we won't, for me, I was like, let's make a good run at the Cups. And I just want to see, something. I want to see a plan. I want to see the progression. And for some reason, since then, I haven't seen enough adaptation from Frank. He hasn't switched the formation. And even though the players are not good enough, as the manager, as a coach, you should put those players in best positions to succeed. And I feel like he hasn't done that. Like, we don't have worse attack than Sunderland or some other teams who play better football. And I know it's been talked about ad nauseum, but at home you cannot set up not to lose, especially against the
Do
mid-table.
Sunderland play better football?
Not better. Well, they're attacking. It's about the setup, right? Again, like I'm okay if we lose some games. Again, we're not Arsenal. If you're Arsenal, you get 3 points in any way you can because you're going for the league. With us, we're building something. So I just feel like setting up not to lose at home against lesser teams is just the mentality for me isn't there. And again, it's very silly for fans to call Frank out, all that, right? That's silly. Like we shouldn't even think about it. Any
Yeah.
manager needs at least a season and a couple of transfer windows. But I'm less focused on results and more focused on what I'm seeing and just the way we've been winning set pieces, own goals, which is all great. But just I don't know. I'm questioning Frank's mentality, whether he still thinks he's the Brentford playing for a mid-table team not to lose, versus being brave, especially at home. And you might not get the results, but at least you don't instill the mentality into players. And right now, I just feel like we're playing afraid, and that's
Too
my biggest
safe.
issue.
It's too safe. It clearly is. Teams like Sunderland are winning at home. Brentford are winning at home. I'm sorry. Spurs should be winning at home. And yeah, it's got to be sorted out sooner rather than later. We've got to pick up some wins because if we can get that home form, right, and keep going with that away form, we could have a good season. Yeah, it's still all to play for. But right now, I'm not too sure what Frank's going to do because the tactics, the system, it's not working at home, is it? Whatever we think, it's not working.
No.
There needs to be a solution.
Do you not think is a continuation of last season though? Because from what I'm seeing, look, I'm not exonerating Frank of all blame, of course, but from what I'm seeing, as soon as Spurs concede a goal, we literally fold. We have no idea of how to come back. And the fans are the same. The fans will be, behind the team as soon as Spurs concede. They don't want to know. And I just think it's a continuation of last season. Our poor form under Ange at home when we would get outplayed every single week. And you've got to remember, we've got pretty much the same players, bar 2 or 3. It's pretty much the same players. I mean, it's the same back five. You got Bentancur. Okay, we got Polinia, we got Kudus, and we got Xavi. Apart from that, it's the same team. Pretty much has played all season.
So you think it's a
So
bit of a
I don't know
hangover,
what.
Nige? You think it's a bit of a hangover?
Absolutely. And Frank has come in and said, I'm going to set up the defence for. I'm going to make us harder to beat, which he has. And granted, there has been games when we've been outplayed and we could have conceded 4 or 5, but we haven't, and we've got results in those games. I think we've just got to give this manager time, and I think Sunderland's a really bad example because Sunderland, on average, have about 36% possession. Now, if Spurs have 36% possession at home, the fans would then be up in arms that we're not controlling games. So I don't know. As fans, we've got to decide what we want. For me, we just got to get behind the manager. This is not an overnight fix. I think Spurs are better away from home because the pressure's off. I think they feel the pressure from the fans. I think the atmosphere in the stadium is pretty toxic most weeks. I don't go every week, so I don't know, but I don't see or don't hear the fans really getting behind the team. I think the fans are waiting for Spurs to concede, and I think Spurs are. I think the players are as well. I think they're playing with fear and
Don't you
within
think,
themselves. But
Nige, it's
Frank,
for the players though? Don't you think it's for the players to show something on the pitch to get their fans going? Right, it's got that bad. Look, the players need to step up. We need to attack teams. We need to go at them. We need to show that bravery, and the crowd will rise to that. They will.
absolutely.
So it's a responsibility from manager and the players to they've got to be there.
This,
They've got to
yeah,
start
and
winning, man. But fair points, Nigel. I get where you're coming
this is
from.
where Frank. This is where Frank at home has to be a little bit braver as well and say, he does. It does feel like we're holding back a little bit at home. Porro doesn't get forward as much. Bentancur it's not as free as he is away from home. Maybe we need to release these players. I haven't got a problem with playing Bentancur and Polinia at home, but not in a double pivot. For me, Bentancur's our best midfielder. Polinia is our best number 6. Bentancur's our best midfielder. We need to release him, give him a bit of freedom, and let him do what he does. And we need to get Porro further up the pitch.
Like my issue is, again, like with other managers, that we've had in the past, for example, Jose, Conte, Ange, you could clearly see what their style was, right? What the formation was, what they were trying to do. But now I just look at the players, and to me, they look confused on the pitch. It just looks like they're not sure where to be, what to do. Like when Simmons runs with the ball, he looks around, nobody's around. Bentancur stands by our center backs. Porro is like, he regressed a lot this season offensively. And the left winger, like, again, it's supposed to be like we're supposed to get better with every game, but for some reason it seems like the players are getting more and more confused, and I'm not sure why that is. If it's them not understanding what Frank is telling them, is it Frank? But an interesting stat, I think last night on Spurs 5, because I was talking about it, we're bottom of the league in through passes, like by far, and that was my observation. When people tell me Bentancur, he passes forward, my eyes don't tell me that. We just seem to be passing back to back. Yeah, exactly. Back to back. Romero is the only one who is brave with passing. Nobody else is actually attempting a through ball. And for me, I'm just not, I mean, it has to be instructions from Frank, but we have no outlet. Xavi is isolated. Kudus is isolated. Even though we don't have the quality up front, but even with poor quality players, you should still be able to see kind of what the plan is. And I just feel like I personally don't see what the plan is, and the players, to me, seem confused. That's my biggest issue.
So I think this is a good point to segment into the players' performances, right? Some players have been playing well, I think, and I want to ask you guys and people in the chat opinions on players' performances so far this season, and also look at the ones who are not performing, maybe that we expected to be doing better. And then after that, I'm going to show you statistically what players are performing well in this side and the ones that are not. And maybe you'll guess it when you come up with your players. You might get it right. We'll see. So I think that's a good place to start. So let's start off with this question then. So which player's performance has surprised you the most? Anyone take it?
I don't know. I think for me, probably Van der Ven is the one that's. I think he's the one player in the whole squad that stood up and been counted. For me, he's the one player on the side. Polina's been great. He's a new signing. Kind of expected him to do that. I'm sure we'll talk about Polina at some point. But for me, Bentancur's a one player. I'm sorry, Van der Ven's a one player. But just quickly going back to what Eugene said, I don't want to change the subject.
It's fine, Nige.
Do you not think that the you're saying we're getting worse every week? You're seeing it and you think we're getting worse? I think I kind of agree. I do think we're getting worse at home, but do you not think that's the pressure building? Because we're not getting those wins, the pressure's building on the team. And maybe we are still a little bit flaky at times.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah. I just want to see some bravery. That's all, right? Again, like against Chelsea, against those teams, it's like, hey, we always lose to Chelsea, but at least let's go for it. At least let's show some intent. And for me,
that was
the intent is
disgusting, that performance from Spurs.
That was one of
side.
honestly
That
the
was
worst I've ever
disgusting.
seen. Just show me intent. You can lose, but lose fighting. Don't just play like you're a relegation team set up not to lose and not even try to attack. Like that's the issue for me, right? The results is a separate thing from, again, we're not going to win the league, so the results are secondary, especially if it's a long-term project. I just want to see improvement. I want to see a plan. I want to see the progression, and I'm hoping we're going to get there. I'm pretty sure we're going to get there. It's just, if we're talking honestly about what's happening right now, I think it's fair to ask some questions.
100%. It is. Yeah, that Chelsea performance upset me a lot. We can't be playing like that in a derby. Chelsea are not that good to completely outplay us. And we had no answers. The players didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know how to put a passing move together to create an opportunity. It was probably one of the worst derby games I've seen for many, many years, and unacceptable. And then to follow up against Manchester United, where I felt Manchester United are beatable. They didn't impress me last weekend. They did not impress me. I thought that was a winnable game, but again, we didn't show anything in the first half. Frank got his starting lineup wrong. Yeah, he's dropping the Doggy and Wilson, who played well against Copenhagen. Yeah, that combination play we lost. You know, it looked like Frank was more worried about what Man United were going to do by playing Spence at left back. And we clearly see it's just not working anymore, Spence. Spence at left back is not working. He always has to cut in. You know, it just does not work. So it disappointed me. He got it wrong, but Frank did put it right second half. You know, he changed it. So that's positive. And we were very close to winning the game. And obviously that last minute header was a kick in the teeth, because you've got to win the game. When you're playing that bad, you're 2-1 up with a minute to go. You've got to take the 3 points, man. Honestly, you've got to. And again, you know, defending as well on that game. There's a couple of poor defence, and our defence was our strength so far this season, I thought. Just real lapses at the back there.
Yeah, I actually, it was disappointing to concede that late goal, because we have been really good set piece wise defensively this season so far. So to concede that late was, it was a bit of a kick in the teeth. You're right, but I actually saw a lot of green shoots from that game, because I saw. You're right, Dan. He did get the team wrong. I was the first one to say, actually, I didn't have a problem with the side last week when I saw it. So I thought, players need to be rested. You can't keep running these players into the ground. But actually, when you think about it, and I look back at the game and you saw the subs he made at half time, Odegaard, when he come on, probably his best game in a Spurs shirt, I think, since he signed for us. And a Doggy and Odegaard work really well together. So for me, that's got to be our left side now going forward for the biggest games. Obviously, we're going to have to rest players at some point. But for the biggest games, Odegaard and the Doggy need to be playing on the left side together.
So let's go back to the players. Yeah. Eugene, who's impressed you so far this season? Any surprises?
So I got a couple. I got positive and negative, right? So on the positive side, I agree with Nige. Van der Ven really stepped up. I was questioning whether he excelled in Nige's system, where he can use his pace for recovery. But even playing the mid block, playing under Frank, he's been our best player, I believe. Not even goal scoring wise, just overall. I've been really impressed with him. Paulinho also, I wasn't sure what to expect. And yes, he's limited in some games with some of his attributes, but overall, he impressed me. On the other side, I don't know what happened to Poro. He's always been a liability defensively, which is okay if he contributes in attack. But I haven't even seen two decent crosses into the box. I'm not sure what happened to him. Again, I don't know if it's him, if it's the instructions, but it just seems like he's not contributing as he's done in the past. And I'm not sure what the issue is. So for me, he regressed. So he's the biggest disappointment for me. And then Kudus, he's one of our best players. Maybe my expectations were overly high and he doesn't have anybody to play with. But also sometimes he just over dribbles. He doesn't pass in time. So I like him a lot. I think he's going to improve. But as of now, maybe he hasn't lived up to the hype, for me at least. And Simmons as well. But I feel like those two are going to get better as they play.
Yeah. I'll go back to Nige in a sec, and people in the chat as well. What guy performances has surprised you this season? Any player really, which you feel's been playing well, has impressed you, playing under Thomas Frank? Just drop it in the comments. Let us know. Again, I agree with you, Nige and Van der Ven. Yeah, been our strongest defender, right? And he's contributing to goals. Yeah, really excited about him. Really am. Yeah, really encouraging signs. I think Paulinho's done a fantastic job as well. And, Kudos has excited me at times, but again, I just feel that it's all too much on him. Everything's kind of given to him and he can't always do it, right? We need something from that left-hand side. We need something more centrally, but Frank is not playing it through central. He's pushing it out to the width. That's what the stats and the data tells you. He's trying to get it out wide all the time. Nothing's going through central. Got some stuff later. I'll show you what I'll bring up. But disappointing players, guys, before I go on to what they're statistically the best and the worst are. Eugene, you said. Nige, anyone you've been disappointed in?
I'd agree with Poro. I think he's been poor for the most part. I do think his crossing is usually decent, and I think the United game he let himself down because I think that was Frank's game plan. I think that's why Richarlison was picked. Get the ball to Porro, get the balls in the box, bit of physicality, but Porro's crossing was awful. So for me, Porro's disappointed me. But the biggest one, and listen, no one's going to be surprised, Richarlison. I mean, just an awful player, and I don't like to slam players too much, but Brazilian number 9, and
Slam him,
he
man.
can't
Slam
control the
him,
ball.
Nige. Slam him.
He
Slam him
he
hard,
can't
man.
pass the ball. He can't shoot. He can't head it. He can't do anything. Every now and again, he'll come up with a goal, but he has got to be one of the worst strikers I've seen in my lifetime of supporting Spurs, and I've seen some pretty atrocious strikers. But yeah, sooner he goes, the better for me.
To add to that, I didn't mention him because I didn't expect anything from him. So I expected nothing. And honestly, this season, especially after he took the ball away from Scarlett, when Scarlett earned that penalty, he wanted to take it and he missed. He's honestly, and again, I'm sure he's a great guy outside of football, but I've never despised a footballer more. I mean, despised is a strong word, but I've never disliked a footballer more on the Spurs than I do Richarlison. Again, might be a great guy, funny on social media, but as a player, even Ndombele and like even others, I was more like disappointed and kind of upset. But Richarlison, every time I see him on the pitch, I just get like physically ill. Like I'm angry. I've never despised anybody more than him.
I'm
I
not
don't know
quite
why,
that
but
bad,
he just
but
gets to me.
I am with you now on the whole Scarlett thing because he earned the penalty, and
Right.
I've never almost celebrated Spurs missing a penalty in that game. When Richarlison missed it, I was like, ha, ha, you should have given it to Scarlett. So yeah, I'm with you now.
Yeah, terrible player, and it hasn't helped Frank not having Solanke. I want to see what he's like. But saying that, even if he comes in, something's not working tactically, system-wise. We're not getting the ball forward enough. We're not creating enough chances. Even if we had Solanke up there, yes, he'll press better. Yes, he'll maybe better finisher than Richarlison. But it's not just that. It's about how Frank is setting up the side at home, especially to win games. And a lot's got a lot of work to do. He really has. Look, let me bring up the. I'll just read up a couple of comments, actually. Let's go to the chat. Big up, Barbaric. I'm coming up to 60 years old. Even I could put a better performance in Richarlison. 100%. I think most of us can, right? And Psycho Teacher says Richarlison is a national embarrassment. Big up, man.
No, psycho teachers from Brazil, I believe. And
Yeah.
the fall, like when you just look at football overall, it's not the same game as it was before. It's not as creative. It's not as interesting. And I think that there's a direct correlation with the fall of the Brazilian football. Their national team has been shambles for years and years. And I feel like because the quality of Brazilian players isn't as good as before. Now you see all the leagues, just the game isn't as exciting, which is unfortunate. And Richarlison is a perfect representation of the state of Brazilian football and the state of football as a whole, which is upsetting.
Yeah. Fair enough, man. And Ghosted, our strike force is terrible, lads. Yeah, it's not the best, is it? It's probably one of the worst forward lines we've had for many years, but still doesn't excuse Spurs not being able to create chances and have some shots at home. We should be able to at least do that, and that's what we're not seeing enough. Okay, let's go over. So these are the kind of performing players statistically for Spurs so far this season. I'll bring them up and then I'll talk through some of the stuff around them. Okay, so these 4 players are Spurs' best performers statistically so far. So Paulinho is one of the highest average match ratings for Spurs at 7.27, strong in both defensive and possession metrics. He's got a good output for a defensive midfielder, 0.6 goals plus assists per 90, high dual win rate, tackles and ball recoveries. So look, he's consistently influencing games in every department. So he's one of our top performers. Then moving on to Van der Ven. Strong ratings driven by elite recovery, speed, defensive interventions, and 3 goals already. One of the highest defensive impact numbers, progressive carries, dual success, blocks. So he's been Spurs, as we said earlier in the show, Spurs' most reliable defender. And then another guy, he may surprise you, Vicario, because there's a lot of people kind of debate about him. Some people like him, some people don't. So if you're looking at Football Mob, he's rated at 7.3. He's got a high save percentage, strong shot stopping metrics, excellent reflex numbers. So even when Spurs concede, Vicario is often one of the few better performers. So, he has saved us a few times this season, hasn't he? If you think about some of the saves he's made. And the other guy is Kudos, which I'm not surprised at. He's in there. Obviously, his goal tally's not. He's only scored 1 goal, but he's our top assister. I think he's got 4 assists, maybe 5. I saw something today. So he creates high shot creating actions and ball progression, and he shows influence even without scoring. So let me just take that off the screen. Any comments on any of that, guys? You surprised about those 4, or you think that's about right?
I think it's about right. My only comment would be on Vicario. He's been really inconsistent. In some games, he's been really, really good. He saved us from giving up a lot of goals, but in some games, he cost us a few goals. He's just been up and down. His shot stopping is usually very good, but even then, in some games, I don't know what it is with him, but he's been up and down this season for me. Too inconsistent.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think for me, I was saying literally just before Vicario started having his good spell, I was like, he can go for me. I'm happy to get a new keeper in the summer, but he has done well the last 3 or 4 games. I still, a lot of goals we can still concede. I still kind of put down, think he can do better on all of them, but he's not. It doesn't surprise me he's in that top 4, and I have to say, as for Polinia, I absolutely love that man. He is a signing that I've been craving for years at Spurs. Absolutely what we need. And so many people don't give him the plaudits he deserves because he's a tackler. He's a ball winner. No, he can pass the ball as well. He gets attacks going and he scores goals and he's good defensively. I think he is the signing we've been crying out for. I think Polinia is an amazing sign. If we don't get him in January, there's something wrong. We need to get this deal done as quickly as possible. And the other 2 speak for themselves.
Yep. No, we've got some good players, and this is why I think we can do better. I know there's all that argument of lack of quality, and yes, we can do better. But I think the players we got there, I think we can get some more out of performances better. I think, anyway. People will debate me all day long about it, but fair enough. Everybody has got their opinion. Should we go and have a look at the statistically worse players then? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just want to guess, top of your heads, guys, in the chat before I bring it up.
Johnson, I don't know, actually. Johnson scored a few. I think Porro will be there.
Okay.
Yeah, Porro. I mean, we're so. I mean, I don't know if we should count Tell and Odegaard because they don't play on regular basis. Are we just looking at players who play on regular basis, or just anybody in the squad?
Yeah, it's probably the ones who've been playing more because there's more stats about them.
I mean, I don't know if Spence has been good. Yeah, it's been Simmons. I'm sure doesn't have great numbers, but again, half of it is him, and half of it is just the system around him. But Simmons, yeah, he definitely has underwhelmed me. That's why I was going on about a Prem proven, as given, and I wanted Eze, but yeah, I think Simmons would be there if I were to guess.
Okay. Right, let's go and bring it up and tell you.
Yep. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
So I'll talk you through it. So
Yeah, go for it.
Yes.
So,
But that's actually, sorry, like that's my actually also very surprised because in the very beginning of the season, Sar had great games at the 10. He's pressing, he's shooting from the outside, but for some reason, after a couple of games, he was completely, benched and thrown aside until the last game. So I'm not sure why that is because I've never been a big fan of Sar, but he really impressed me last season and beginning of this season. So I'm not sure why and what happened to him.
I'll explain. Yeah, I'll go for it. So, goals plus assists per 90. Yeah, 0.3. Okay. Averages 1 goal contribution every 2 to 3 matches, which is low for his role. Okay, so match ratings lower suggests reduced influence in passing, creating duels, or defensive output. Impact numbers are low progressive passes, carries, low involvement in build up, low defensive dominance. So the conclusion on him is Sarr is not contributing enough with or without the ball, making him statistically one of the less impactful midfielders this season for Spurs. What do you think of that?
Okay. Again, I feel harsh because I thought, again, watching it with the eye, I thought he's done okay. Last couple of games maybe not, but certainly at the start of the season, he looked like one of our better midfielders. So yeah, I'm a bit surprised
Yeah,
Sar's in there, to be honest.
same.
What does he do though, Sarr? Can you tell me what he does? Like when we watch him, he scored a couple of goals, right, this season, right? I think got a couple.
Scored a couple. I think Eugene's bang on. I think what his strength is pressing. And I think when we're playing teams like maybe a Liverpool away, an Arsenal, maybe an Arsenal away, I think that's when you might see him start because he is very good at getting around the pitch, pressing the team. And he's got so many good attributes, but one of the basic attributes lets him down, and that's his passing. He's a very poor passer of the ball when he has it, gives it away a lot. But his pressing is his strength, no doubt about it for me.
And he dropped him, didn't he? He didn't play for a while, and everybody was calling for him to go back into the side. And then he played. Didn't he play the last couple of games? Right, I think he played next to either Bentancur or Paulinho, didn't he? So he's been playing, but just not given the team, the output it needs in kind of creating chances, doing it. Not doing a lot right now, is he?
No. And what do you want as a Spurs fan? Because if Sarr plays, then almost certainly Simmons won't be playing in 10. And as Spurs fans, we're all calling out for Simmons to play in 10. We all know our midfield two are going to be. So for me, that's why Sarr's not starting.
Okay. Right. Should we go on to the next one?
Yeah.
1 second. Okay. So obviously, Xavi Simmons. So yeah, it's no surprise that he's in there, right? Hasn't scored. I think he's got some assists in Europe, right? But in the Premier League, I don't think he's got anything. So it's kind of low. It's expected goals, low expected assists, progressive carries, despite being a creative focused player. So he's kind of been disappointing in regards to his performances so far playing for Spurs. But I do not think it's all his fault. But that's my opinion. I think that the combination plays, we're not seeing it. We saw it against Copenhagen, right? It was better, right? Players were closer to him. The midfielder was closer to the attack. We saw some, better attacking moves. I know it's against Copenhagen and not to get carried away, but it was a small sign of progression I saw for me that he was getting more into the game. He was more of an influence into the game. But then obviously Frank changed it against Man United and he was just in his own there. He had no one to pass to, didn't he, when he tried to bring it forward. Guys, thoughts on Simmons?
To me, I see some flashes, but honestly, the Copenhagen performance, I didn't put much stock into it because that's the competition that I knew he would excel against, like he did in Germany, where just the level of competition is different. The biggest issue for me is just he's too slight frame wise. He's not as physical as he needs to be in the Prem. He's not going to have as much time on the ball as he was used to in Germany. He just needs to get stronger and bigger. And just because in the Prem, and I've been saying it forever, unless you're a world-class player like, you know, David Silva or Bernardo Silva or Modric, you need to be somewhat physical. And he's just weak on the ball. Like there multiple times in multiple games, he was pushed off the ball very easily. So
But
he's
Eugene, do you think he can improve that though? Given he needs a bit of adjustment time, right?
oh,
Doesn't
he
he?
can. I
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, I think again, like he's really good technically. He has very good vision. He showed that he's a very good player. He just needs to adapt to the Prem, and that means getting stronger. And I think he's gonna do that, hopefully. But he has the same issue as Wirtz on Liverpool. They're just not used to not having as much time as in Germany, and for the defenders to be bigger, faster, stronger. So he's going to need probably this whole season to adapt.
And the system's not working for him, is it, at the moment? It's not
And the
getting the
system is,
most out of
yeah,
him.
like I said, the example was he's running with the ball, he looks around and nobody's around him, which is strange too. If Frank wants to play through the wings, the wingers should be making those runs, but sometimes they're just not. And Simmons is isolated, which again, I'm not sure why that is. Is it that the players are not following instructions, or is it Frank who tells them to stay back? I'm not sure.
Well, Nige, what's your thoughts on Simmons after a
Yeah,
good performance against Copenhagen, right? Wasn't it? That's what we want to see from him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of those little green shoots, isn't it, that you see and you're like, okay, I can definitely see a player. And I like Simmons, I really do. I think you see little sparks from him, and you think, okay, he's a decent player. But Copenhagen, you got to remember, they give Tottenham so much time on the ball, and you don't get that much time in the Premier League. So you have got to be quicker. But the players around him have got. You got to remember, this guy's come in last day of the window, almost last day of the window. He's had no preseason with Spurs. He's having to learn on the job. I think this is a slow burner. I think we might see the best of him after Christmas. Let's just let him settle in.
But Nige, it's a tactical issue. I think it was against Man United when it was the two central midfielders, Sarr and Paulinho. They weren't going past the halfway line, right? And so there was just no passing angles. You had the fullbacks. You had none of the fullbacks was inverting. There was just no outlet. There was no passing triangles, and it just was terrible.
We don't see this away from home, though, do we? This is my issue. This is why I think is a fair thing. I think Frank has a lot to do with it. I think maybe he's setting the side up not to lose at home.
You don't think it's tactical, Nige?
I mean,
I'm not sure. I think maybe in the players' head they're fearful of losing the ball, of conceding a goal, because I don't know. I mean, it could be tactical. It could be tactical, but you don't see it away.
Who's telling them midfielders not to go up past the halfway line? Surely that's
obviously that would be Frank, wouldn't it? If it's
but even the way, Nige,
it would be Frank.
To push back a bit, even if you look at the away games, like Everton, we scored 2 headers, I believe. West Ham in the first half, it was tough until we scored from a set piece. So even away games, we're getting results, but a lot of those goals come from set pieces. And I don't think we've scored a lot from open play. There are a few deflections and own goals, but I don't think the setup has been that much different. Unless I'm missing something. I just feel like we did a better job on set pieces.
I disagree with the set pieces thing. I really do. I think we have scored a few goals from set pieces, but I think a lot of fans are using it as an excuse. Calling us set piece FC.
We haven't scored many goals, Nige. We haven't scored many.
Like own goals and deflections, a lot of them, right?
But they all count, though, don't they?
Oh no, of course, but that's not like. Of course, they all count, and again,
can't rely on it. Like you've got to create chances through the open play.
Then if you look at a lot of the goals we conceded, if you look at all the goals we've conceded this season, I reckon half of them have been deflected.
But on the other hand,
it goes both ways, isn't it?
On the other hand, we've given up chances, and those teams didn't take advantage of those opportunities. So, right, I guess it evens out, but it's more like if you just look at kind of how he sets up, I'm not sure if home and away, if the setup is that much different. But again, I could be just not seeing it.
Shall we? Let's move on to that last player on there. Yeah, and then we're going to move on to more kind of style of
We have
play,
to.
general statistics of the season, which is got a little bit to show you on that. So Richarlison, obviously, he scored 4 goals. These are top goal scorer, isn't he? I think in the Premier League. But his ratings, game to game, is averaging 6.1. There's a large negative gap between finished goals versus expected goals, underperforming in the XG, poor involvement in link-up play. So the conclusion for him is, for a striker expected to lead a line, he's performing well below standard. And we know this, it's just watch him. He's getting frustrated. He's crying after scoring a goal the other day, taking off his shirt. Desperation stuff, really, after putting of a stinker of performance. But then many people will question, well, are we giving him quality chances? I remember there was a great ball from Porro in the first half against Man United. He failed to put that away. Guys?
I don't know what to say about Richarlison.
Can we move on from him? It's just not waste
he's terrible. Yeah, he's just terrible.
Yeah, it's no surprise that he's in one of the worst performing. Although he scored 4 goals, but a couple against Burnley, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Who else did he score against? He scored the other day, and there was another goal as well. I think it was away to Brighton. I think he got a goal.
Oh yeah,
and I think honestly he might be better on the wing, on the left. Again, even though I don't want to see him on the pitch at all, but if he has to play, from at least last season and against PSG, he did okay on the wing because he gets to press, he gets to be a nuisance. He's just not clinical enough. He cannot control the ball. He can pass the ball. He cannot link up play. So even with Solanke, right, he's not a top player. You can say he's average, he's decent, but when he doesn't score, at least he does other things. He links up play well. He can hold the ball up. And I think that's what we're missing a lot, right? We need another outlet other than Kudus, and Richarlison cannot be it. Terrible first touch. He's just running around completely lost and not contributing. And for every header that he scores, he misses 7. So it's, don't want to see him play.
Let's go to the chat. Big up to at KR4. Xavi has to play faster with less touches. Yep, he does. He's got to get up to speed with the league. Mark saying not having a left back hasn't helped Frank. Playing Spence there doesn't work yet. I agree with that. Any other comments? Big up to Joe Blogs. Evening to you. The system doesn't suit Kudus or Xavi or Richie or Tell or Brennan. So yeah, he thinks the system's not suiting any of these attacking players. It's not working, is it? Full stop at home. So something's got to change. BCS. Frank ain't building system for players, but for every match different. Yeah,
so that's actually my thing, because I think it's the opposite of that. My expectation was that he would adjust based on the opponent, but I'm surprised he never went to back 3 after the PSG game, even though that might suit us to play, for example, with 2 10s. So I think it's the opposite of this. I don't think he adjusted enough, because I think he's doing the same thing again and again. And I want to see him, even if it fails, at least try something different, because that's what my expectation was of Frank.
Yeah, I agree. To be honest, he did start off really well, didn't he? That game against PSG, Manchester City, he changed it, but then he kind of started sticking to his system. And I think, if you ask fans, what is the style of play under Frank? They don't know what it is. He's kind of caught in between. Are we a counter-attacking team? Are we a possession-based team? Our possession stats in the league are like 6th, so we're pretty good at keeping the ball. But I just don't know what we are right now. And it's still early, I guess. But I remember when Pochettino came in, we knew what he was doing. It didn't work at the beginning, did it? But you knew what he wanted to do from the off, pressing. Yeah,
and as I said, Conte, you knew, and even like Angie knew. First 10 games, you're like, okay, this is the style. Even second game, we're like, oh, now we're playing differently. Every manager has a distinct style, which is not even necessarily a requirement. But again, it's not even about me. Just the players, to me, seem confused a bit on the pitch.
Do we not think as fans? Do we not know what we're doing at the moment? I mean, I'm pretty.
What do you think the style of play is?
Sure, what we're doing. we're trying to be hard to beat. And after last season, I know it's disappointing. I know we want more as Spurs fans, but we finished 17th last year. We were bloody rancid. We have been awful for 18 months. And this manager's come in and he's trying to make us harder to beat.
But
Now,
that's
it's
not a
not
style of
great
play,
to watch.
Nige. It's not a style of
No,
play,
it's
is it?
not. But he's not got his style of play yet because at the
Why?
moment he's just trying to make us harder to beat.
If you can ask a
He's
question
not.
about that, Nige, I have a question for you. And
Go for
again,
it.
this is just, not a gotcha question. I'm just interested. So in my mind, if you look at our squad, our strongest unit is our back four, right? You can say Van der Van Romero would get on almost probably any team but Arsenal, right?
Yeah.
And Paulinho is a top defensive midfielder, so he helps out. So in my mind, if our defense is our strongest unit and Paulinho is a really good CDM who helps our defense, so why do we need even more support? In my mind, that means, if we have a good defense, then as a coach, as a manager, I'd be like, okay, now midfield Bentancur or like number 8, push up. Why do we need to protect our back four if that's our strongest unit? That's my question.
Hang on.
Like that's the piece that I don't understand.
That back four at Spurs last year when we conceded
It was a different style.
60,
Like,
nearly
It was a
70
high line,
goals in the
Nige.
Premier
It was
League.
a high line.
Yeah, there was a high line. And
It's still the same team, but then we're just making excuses. It's just we're playing differently. Frank has come in and tried to make us harder to beat, which he's succeeded at doing.
He has done that, Nige. I agree.
Going forward, we're not great. We're not. But look what Frank has. We've just been moaning about Richarlison. Yeah, we're expecting miracles. I don't know what we expect as Spurs fans.
My question is, look, like let's say he plays the same style, right? Play the mid block. Paulinho is there to protect the back line. The back line doesn't go up. That's fine. However, like if that's the case, we have a solid back four, a solid mid block. Push Bentancur up. Why is Bentancur our number 8 so deep where there's a huge gap between 8 and a 10? If that's the case, I agree with you. We need to be hard to beat.
I agree with that.
But push Bentancur up and push the wingers up because we should be solid in the back given the way we play. So, but Bentancur standing next to Paulinho, next to center backs, that's the piece that to me it doesn't make sense. Why is our number 8 playing as a 6 or even as a center back? Right? I agree with you about hard to beat. Play Paulinho back. Don't play the high line mid block, but everybody else should be pushing up to play to our strength, and that's why I'm confused a bit. If that makes sense.
I agree 100%. I agree 100% with that. But I will say, if you watch us away from home when Bentancur is playing alongside Paulinho, Bentancur does push up. As I said from the start, I really do think it is a fair thing. And maybe Frank's got something to do with it as well. I don't know whether it's the players or whether it's Frank, but for whatever reason, there's a fear of losing, there's a fear of conceding. And I don't know. Something needs to be sorted at home. It's definitely
How
a
long
problem
do
at
we
home.
go on just defending and just focusing on the defence? How long is that, Nige? In your opinion, should that go for? What is it?
Well, Frank needs some options up front, doesn't he? He needs some options in those attacking areas. We all hoped that Simmons would come in and hit the ground running. He hasn't done that. He was going to be our Maddison. We've got Maddison out, we've got Kulu out, we've got Solanke out. That's 3 players that would be on our first team. And 3 attacking players. The amount of goals we've lost from last season is staggering. We are relying on Richarlison and Kudus, who doesn't get many goals anyway. You look at his career, he doesn't score many goals. He assists a few, but he's not a goal scorer. So we are relying on Richarlison because now Mwani's out. Johnson does nothing. So I don't know what... I know it's frustrating, but I don't know what we're expecting as Spurs fans when we have the front line that we have, because...
But they should be able to create chances. They should be able to.
Yeah, exactly. Even the chances aren't there. Like under Ange, for example, in the beginning, I remember last season, like those games early on, where I felt like we did play well. Like we had a lot of chances, we just didn't capitalize. And I could say, well, that's the lack of quality. But we're not even creating chances for our strikers. Like if Richarlison would be missing every time, or Mwani, I'm like, you know what? The system is creating chances. Players are not good enough. But I just don't see chances themselves. Like we're not creating.
I can remember watching Spurs under Ange and thinking we are one of the patchiest sides around because
For
we
sure.
can be poor for 75 minutes and have a 5-minute spell when we go bang, 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 and we score 3 goals and win the game. You know?
Yeah.
So we wouldn't create, I don't think, apart from the first 10 games, we weren't creating loads and loads of chances
I agree.
under Ange. What we
I
were
agree.
doing is conceding a lot of goals under Ange and a lot
Yeah.
of chances, which we still haven't properly sorted yet because we still do
I'm
concede
going
a
to
lot of
compare that,
chances in
Nige.
games.
We're going to compare in a minute. Yeah, the next part of it is a bit of comparison to last season. So,
And it's sort of about Ange. Like for me, like Ange is gone. It's just like I'm just trying to like. My point is, right? Like our players are not good enough for sure, but at least But I don't even see the chance creation for them to miss. They don't even have an opportunity to miss chances. So that's kind of my point.
We're not
let's just
creating
go.
enough.
But I
No,
agree with you, Nige, for sure.
we're not. We're definitely not. Let's go to Kevin. Evening to you. What is the system Frank is trying to play? Playing for corners and throw-ins. This is what we're talking about. We're not sure what he's doing. Nige thinks we're just focusing on a defence first, but how long does that go on for? I don't know. Big up to Tottenham Ranger. He's bigging up Eugene. So you've got a fan now, Eugene.
That's the
You've
first.
got a fan in there.
That's one.
Mark says Ange didn't have a style of play, style of chat. What's that? Style of play, I think, or charge. Maybe I've misread that. Evening, is that Lucy? AD, big up, lads. Happy Friday. Evening to you. Thank you for being here. Guys in the chat, if you could smash the like button, be much appreciated. Really helps us. Subscribe if you're new here. Also go and subscribe to Nige as well. I've just put his link in the chat. Go and give him a sub as well. Thank you so much. Just go over the chat. Richie's here. Evening to you, Richie. Hope you're good, man. Let's just see if any more comments in there. Vinny Guy, 17th, but still qualify for Champions League, equivalent to accomplish top 4 in the league. Got to take it. Yeah, Champions League, eh? Doing all right in that. Performance has not been great, but we're picking up points. Put ourselves in quite a good position. Look, let's go on to the stats now. Let's move away from players. I think we've covered that okay. Unless anyone else wanted to say anything about players, guys.
No, all good, mate.
No. All right, let's go. Let's go to the stats so far. Everyone in the chat, get ready for this one. Yeah, you're going to get your teeth into this. Here we go. So, stats so far this season. I hope you can all see that. If not, I'm going to read it out anyway. So, look, top one is just an order top one. It's about a number of games. So, possession percentages this season is 54%. We're actually fifth in the league of possession. Haven't had any penalties. We've not had any free kick goals. Shots is 106, which our league rank is 18. Struggling to turn possession into chances, which just confirms what we're watching. Shots on target 38, which is 14th in the league. Mid-table for shots on target, not creating many clear chances. Touches 7,050, we're 6th. High number of touches showing control of possession. Touches in opponent's box 269, which leaves us 8th in the league. Decent number of touches in the opposition box, getting into attacking areas. Offside 23, league ranked 17th. Low number of offsides suggest fewer risky forward runs. All right, let me just take that down. 1 second. I can keep it up. Let me take it down, actually. Hold on. Okay, right. Oh, what's happened?
The stage is yours, Eugene.
Hey?
I got nothing.
Can you see us? Messing about with the camera. 7, 6, 7. Here we go. That's the one. Oh, that's just me now. We'll just have to keep on that one. I don't know what's going on. It's annoying. There we go.
There you go.
There we go. Sorry about that, guys. So what do you reckon, guys? Seeing that data, people in the chat, what do you think? Surprised? Not surprised? Anything stand out there? There's a bit more to go over as well, which I'll explain in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's in line with what we've been talking about. Don't think anything is a surprise to me. It's pretty much what my eyes are telling me.
Yeah, same. Kind of tells me by the shots we're having. The that maybe Frank is overachieving a little bit, seeing as we're in the top five or six.
No, we're performing badly. No, I think you've read it wrong. Let me bring it up again. So it's shots. What you're talking about? Shots total.
Yeah.
We're ranked
Shots.
18th.
Yeah. So the fact that we're fifth or sixth would suggest that we're overachieving, because
No,
even though we're ranked by the shots, we're
we're
scoring
18th
goals.
worst performing tied when it comes to shots. Nige, what
Yeah,
one are you
I
looking
know.
at? Shots on target.
I'm looking at the same one, but shots on target, we're 14th or 18th. The fact is we're fifth or sixth in the league. So
Oh,
our
okay.
XG is obviously we're ahead of what we should be.
I'm with
Yeah,
you.
but the
we're
league, like,
overachieving.
2 points separates us from like 11th or 12th. So at this, point in the season, one loss and we can be 12th. So
Right, let's add a bit more to this, yeah, because it will kind of tell us more. Okay, so summary: Spurs dominate possession and have good ball circulation, but are inefficient in shot creation. 18th in total shots, despite 5th in possession. So Tottenham are statistically weird this season: high possession and good goal numbers, but low expected goals and expected assists. This means they're not creating many quality chances, yet they're still scoring more than expected, possibly unsustainable long term.
that's exactly what I've been saying for a while. Like, a lot of our goals, again, every goal counts. No arguments there. Helps us win games. But other than set piece goals, I think we had like 4 own goals, a bunch of deflections. So again, every goal is a good goal, but not sustainable going forward. We've been fortunate in quite a few games this season, and I think our position in the table is flattering. I think we've overachieved from that perspective. And my fear is, if this continues, we're going to fall in the table, because what we've been doing is not sustainable, and the numbers show it.
Okay, so Nigel, you want to add anything, or shall I move to the next one?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to disagree with the numbers, isn't it? But I don't know. I'm just in that mindset of it's early in the season. And yes, some of the goals have been deflections. Yes, some of them have been own goals. But it's what wins you football matches, right?
Yeah, we've been clinical. We've been very
We've
clinical.
been clinical.
Some may
Yeah.
say we're lucky.
Maybe it might come back to bite us in the bum later on in the season. Who knows? But like I said earlier, I don't know what we're expecting with the players that we currently have.
Okay.
I think we all thought, if I'd asked you two guys at the start of the season, where do you think we'll finish after last season? I think we'd all probably say 7th or 8th, yeah. So I don't know.
That's the squad. That's the squad. I know some are out still, but no Maddison either.
Yeah, I know we got injuries. I mean, I think when all the fans were talking before the season started where they expect us to be. I mean, I said, yeah, like between 5th and 8th, depending on how lucky we get with injuries. So if we finish 8th, that's fine with me, as long as I see a plan and a progression. My biggest disappointment so far is the Newcastle game. Again, I don't want to derail it, but kind of, for me, I was hoping for a cup run.
Yeah,
So
same here. I think Frank messed up there. He rested key players where that was the most important tie of the season to try and progress in that cup. It was very important to me, and you got it
Newcastle
wrong.
was beatable as well, and the rest of the players,
They were.
they're
We had
15th on the table.
opportunities. Yeah,
we
had
should
lots
have
of opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was disappointing. Look, let's continue it and come back to the player discussion a bit later, I think, because I think there's a few things I want to say about it. But let's keep the flow going. So, high possession equals dominance. Spurs are 5th for possession, but 18th for shots, showing sterile control. Clinical, but not creative. 4th in goals, yet 15th in XG, finishing better than they're creating. Mid-table attacking efficiency. That's what it's showing. The 14th, 18th ranking is shooting metrics reveal poor chance generation. Structure. Chance creation suggests issues in offensive structure or movement. And do you know what? This is what I've been saying. I've been saying this all season, that there is issues with how we're set up, how we progress the ball. Yes, you can question the quality of players, of course. Yeah, but I'm sorry, we can play better football than this. We can with these group of players. It's just how Frank is being too safe. And yes, I get it. He's trying to make us harder to beat. And that is important. But he's got to put something into that forward line in the training. He's got to be working on something with these players. I know there's not a lot of training time because it's game after game, but we've got to be seeing something progressing in that area, guys.
For sure. I agree. That's kind of exactly what we're talking about. That's my point exactly. It's if we project for the next few months or the rest of the season, given how we are, if we don't improve, it doesn't look good for us. So our hope is that we're going to improve, right? So as Nigel was saying, it's early days. Let's hope that the players are getting used to the system, that he's going to make some tweaks and we improve. However, if we just take these stats and we'll project for the rest of the season, I don't even think we're going to finish 8th if things do not improve. And I want to be positive. I'm hoping that they will improve. However, you cannot look at what's happening up until this point and pretend that, we're on the right path. So that's my concern.
Right. Should we continue? Nige, is there something you wanted to add?
I mean, the stats are damning, mate, aren't they? They're absolutely damning.
There's more.
Go on, bring the next lot up.
Let's get it done. Let's get it done. Let's do a bit of comparison to last season, right? Because it's surprised me a little bit as well. I've got to be honest. It got me thinking. Then it's not good news. No, it's not. It's not. So look, so the one on the left is last season, right? Average possession is 54.7. I think that's last season. Their expected goals was 58.8 over the season versus goals scored 64. Expected goals and assists was 63.3. So the XG and the XGA was roughly 4.5, signaling the team created fewer or lower quality chances compared to what opponents had. Possession alone did not translate into strong season. Tottenham finished 17th in the league. Okay, so now let's look at this season so far. Possession, 54%, same ball share as last year, but the XG and the XA are low relative to goals, assists. Noted XG 11.70, XA 7.43 over 11 matches, club rank 15th, despite goals 19 and assists 16, club rank 4th and 2nd, respectively. The mismatch scoring and assisting more than the underlying chance creation suggests. Shot creation and quality appear weaker. Shots low relative to possession. I'm just going to keep going with this because there's a bit more to go. Let me just open it up a bit because I can't really see it. Hold on a second. So under Ange, decent possession, poor conversion of that control into high quality chances. XG shortfall, XGA negative. So far under Thomas Frank, possession steady, but the team is overperforming in underlying numbers. Goals assists ahead of XG and XA, risky from sustainability viewpoint. The underlying chance creation still appears weak. Low XG, XA, which replicates a habit from 24-25 season under Ange, controlling territory but not creating good chances. The shift to analysing not just the output, goals and assists, but the input quality, XG, XA, shots touched in the box is crucial, and you can argue Ange's style may look better on the ball, but lack that cutting edge. Now, the metrics suggest the same root issue persists. Let me just pause it there, because I thought that was quite an interesting part, which Nige, I know, is going to jump on.
I just think we're looking at last season's things and we're looking at, and Johnson was on fire last year. We had a fit Solanke, we had Sonny, we had Madison, we had Kulusevski, and we had a whole season. That's a whole season of stats, whereas we've got an 11 game thing on Frank. I think, for me, and I'm going to keep sound like a broken record, Frank is working with what he's got. He's trying to make us stronger to beat. Our attacking form is not good. We're not looking good in the front areas, but that's going to come, hopefully, soon. I don't know what to say. It's difficult. You know, we've got a lot, and I don't want to use injuries as an excuse, but when we've got so many attacking players out, it is so difficult for Frank to. I mean, let's be honest. Who are we playing up front right now? Richarlison's our only fit striker, unless we play Scarlett.
Tell, we can play Tell up there.
Tower, nobody wants Tell. Everyone hates him.
Who would you rather play up there,
Yes.
Richarlison or Tell? Some people even calling for Scarlett to have a start. It's
I'd
desperate.
probably rather play Tower at the moment. And this is what I mean. This is what Frank has to work with. And I just think it's really, and I know we've got to bring up stats, and is an interesting read, but I think comparing last season to this season when we're only 11 games
But
in,
that
and
gives
Frank,
us some answers, though, doesn't it? That backs your argument, Nige, in some aspects. That
Yeah.
you know, and I want to bring Eugene in here and your reflection. We'll talk. But there's a little bit more to say, which I'll read it out in a minute. But Eugene, initial thoughts when you see that?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much in line with what we talked about. Like, an interesting thing to me is, or a thing that I want to see from Frank, again, if you look at Ange, he definitely, our defense got much, much worse, right? They were on an island. However, if you look at Johnson, Ange's system played to his strengths, right? So I wouldn't say he was great last season and this season he's not, because he's not a good player. However, what Ange was asking him to do, he was doing really well, at least scoring goals. And I want to see Frank do something similar for some of the players. Like, do you know what I mean? Like Ange did for Johnson. I would hope that Frank can say, okay, these are the players I'm working with, and now I'm going to play a way to maximize their strengths. And I want to see him try things going forward. Like, I mean, I talked about it before, but kind of that's my kind of concern, that I haven't seen that up until now. And again, not to beat a dead horse, but I'm okay with our players who are not good enough, not finishing chances, and us dropping points. I just want to see the us creating those chances. Because if we do, then I'll be like, you know what, Frank is doing what he needs to do. Once we get better players in January and next summer, based on what I've seen style-wise, we're going to improve. However, if we look at it right now, even let's say if we get Savio or Semenyo in January or in the summer, and we bring somebody else in, based on actually how we're setting up, there's no guarantee that anything will improve. I hope I'm wrong. I'm just taking a negative view, but I just want to see some intent.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Good stuff. Big up everyone watching. Thank you so much. Please smash the like button, subscribe to me and Nige. That would be much appreciated. I hope you're enjoying the show. Let's get back on. Big up to Adam. Big up to some other people who've joined us. Big up to Philly. Big up to Ricky as well. Evening to you. Make sure I haven't missed anyone. Big up to everyone watching from the beginning, like Andrew, Mark. Big up you all. Big up Psycho Teacher, Destiny as well. Big up to you guys. Right, let's just keep going with this. Yeah, sorry guys, but we got to keep going. Got to keep going. Right, let's have a look. Okay. Right, here we go. So let's look on the right-hand side. So 24-25 season, Spurs had 59.5 XG, but only scored 64 goals. It's a modest overperformance. Meanwhile, they had a poor XGA, 66.5, which suggests defensive issues. This season so far, Spurs have scored 19 from 17.7 XG, significantly overperforming their underlying chance creation. The expected assists, 7.43, suggests creative quality is modest. Shots per match are relatively low, 9.7, which aligns with the earlier stats showing that low shot volumes despite good possession. Expected goals per shot, 0.11, indicates that many of their shots are of low quality. They are generating just 0.11 expected goals per shot. Defensive side conceding 0.91 goals per match so far is better than last season, but as obviously we don't have the full season to kind of judge. We've only got like 11 Premier League games. I think there's just one more I want to say. hold on 1 second because I can't see that properly. You can argue that the core issue under Ange was lots of possession, but poor chance quality and weak defensive metrics remain structurally present this season. The difference this season looks statistically more efficient or lucky good goal output, despite weak underlying numbers. That raises the sustainability question. Right, that's a lot. That's a lot to say. Again, let's go to the panel chat. Any thoughts on it all? What are you thinking?
Kind of just says that we've not really changed a lot from last season, have we? We're still, we have still got pretty much the same squad. I know we have obviously improved it in some areas, but we're pretty much the same team. And like I've said before, this isn't an overnight fix. Frank isn't going to come in and wave his magic wand and change things straight away. I think this side is suffering from a real lack of confidence after what they went through under our last manager, albeit the fact we won a great trophy. And it's difficult. This is going to be a slow process, guys, in my opinion. I think we're in for a lot more pain before we see the gain. So that's where I am.
Eugene?
I agree. I agree.
Any surprises there? Is it just that clear cut? Same players, that means we can't improve?
I mean, but on like if you look at it, our players are not that bad. Like when we talked about before the season, everybody agreed we need 3 top players for our first 11. So again, if you look at our back line, it's pretty solid. Our midfield is decent. They should be doing better. I feel like they're underperforming. Yes, our front 3 is not good at all. But I still think that Frank can be doing better tactically than what we've been doing. But I do agree, obviously, we need quality, right? We need a top number 8. We need a left winger. We need a striker. Hopefully, and chances are that if we get him, 1 player in January and 2 in the summer, we're going to improve. But I don't agree that our players are just not good. We should be a top 6 side. I mean, the Newcastle's dropping off, Villa's dropping off. Given how everybody is, we should be a top 6 side, to me, no question, even with their injuries. So again, is that all on Frank? No. It's still early on, but he should be doing a bit better with who he's got, in my opinion.
And we're also playing differently. Obviously under Ange, we played a lot differently. And if you look at last season, you look at the goals we scored, you look at the player who scored the most goals for us, Johnson, doesn't really get a look in now. He plays the odd game, but if Kudus is fit, Kudus plays. And so we're kind of playing differently. So we're not going to score maybe as many as we did under Ange. We're not going to get those kind of chances. There was a game against Leeds early on in the season. I know we won the game and I was watching it and there was a couple of balls that flew right across the 6-yard box. And I was like, oh, if Johnson was there, simple tapping. But Kudus doesn't get in those areas.
Yeah.
But then Kudus pops up with a winner. So I don't know. I think for me, it's going to be a season which we're just going to have to, like I say, we're not going to look great going forward for a lot of it.
Yeah. And do you know, actually, my worry is, it's a bit on a different note, but so remember when before Ange was hired, or once Ange was hired, we were told by powers that be that even though Ange might not be the guy, but we're going to be playing similar style after him. We're going to play attacking style. And we've been told, well, we're going to have a director of football. So now the decision on transfers will be made by director of football. And we're going to have a certain style of play. So we're not going to go back and forth between attacking managers and defensive managers like in the past. And that's why our squad, there is a mismatch of players for different managers. But now my concern is Frank has a completely different style than Ange. So are the players that we brought in under Ange, are we making the same mistake as we've done in the past where the styles are different again? And if you look at Johnson, you look at Sarr, like Frank doesn't use him. He doesn't want him. So does that mean that, again, those players that we brought in now, we're gonna have to sell them or try to find a home for them, and that's my concern. Are we restarting our project once again by not continuing with the same type of football? Not as crazy as Ange, but at least same philosophy. If that makes
I know what
sense.
you mean. It does feel that way, doesn't it? We've
Yeah.
had Nuno, Mourinho, Conte all playing really defensive football. Then we brought in Ange, and we were told this is it now. This is the style of football we're going to play, regardless of who was in charge.
Yep.
And it does feel like we've gone back a little bit to another more pragmatic manager. But
Yep.
again, this is on the club, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, definitely not
Yeah.
fine. But it's just interesting to me where now it's, oh, no, Johnson doesn't fit. No, Sarr doesn't fit. Now all these players who might not be great players, but at least they were like staples in the squad. Now they're being phased out, which is normal. But it means when instead of bringing in 3 players, top players, now we might need 6 or 7. And then if Frank leaves in a couple of years, are we going to do this thing again, like we've done over the past 10 years? Right. That's my
I
concern.
agree.
Guys, Philly, if you want to jump on, mate, we can continue our conversation we're having in Savage Chat. Come on, liven it up a bit if you want. Let me know and I'll send you the link, mate. Look, let's continue this stat thing. I'm going to bring up something else now. Let me get it up on the screen. Let me get prepared for this. Hold on a second. You finding any middle ground, you two? Or
Yeah.
Always,
Always do.
always. I love Madison, and Eugene loves Madison, so it's all good.
And Jack Grealish. That again, that's my
And
biggest
Jack
L.
Grealish.
That's my biggest L so far is Jack Grealish.
okay, so this guy. Has anyone seen this?
What is this?
No.
No. Do you understand it? Shall I read? What I'll do? Let me read it out. What it all means, and then I'll go over it. Yeah. So this is the XG table, right? So it ranks teams based on points, expected points, instead of real league points. It shows expected league position, that's XPOS, team, X points is expected points so far, XG expected goals scored, XGA is expected goals conceded. The plus and minus numbers indicate the difference between the XG and the XGA metrics and the team's actual values. With us so far, guys? Yeah?
Yep.
So each number compares the expected figure to the actual figure. Green numbers means the team is overperforming that metric, doing better than expected. The red numbers means the team is underperforming that metric, doing worse than expected. Example, if XG says 13.3, but the team have actually scored 7 goals, you'll see something like 13.3 minus 6. They've scored 6 fewer goals than expected, underperformance. So Tottenham are shown in this table 12th. Okay, so expected points 14th minus 4. Spurs should have around 18 points, but actually have 4 fewer than expected. XG 13.6 minus 6. Tottenham should have about 13.3 expected goals, but they have scored roughly 6 fewer. This indicates major attacking underperformance, poor finishing, bad shot quality from players, or bad luck. XGA 14.7 plus 5. Spurs should have conceded around 14.7 XGA, but have actually conceded 5 more than expected. Means the defence goalkeeper are underperforming, letting in more than models predict. So the summary of all of this is underperforming in both attack and defence, scoring 6 fewer goals than expected, conceding 5 more than expected, meaning they should be higher in the table, but results have been worse than the performances suggest. So overall, this shows poor finishing, poor goalkeeping, defensive errors, possibly tactical issues leading to high quality chances for the opponent. Right.
This is interesting. This is, I would expect the goals against, again, I'm not sure how XG is calculated, but I thought just based on the eye test that teams had a lot of chances against us. They just couldn't put them away, that we could have given up a lot more than we did. But I don't know how that factors into XG. So like Chelsea, for example, could have scored 4. Bordeaux, Monaco, even Bournemouth. But I don't know how that plays into the calculation.
That's the Premier League ones, that is only. So there's not the European games. Nige, any surprises from that?
Understand
it? It's quite complicated.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, you know what I think of XG. But yeah, it is what it is. You know, I look at facts, and the facts is we're fifth, and yeah.
It's fine, Nige. You don't have to say anything, mate.
I'm not an XG man.
You can just say no comment, mate. Honestly, it's fine. You've said a lot. I know, obviously, we all know how you feel that, you know, it's early under Frank. Got to give Frank time. He's picking up this mess from what Ange's left. Mate, you're not the only one who says that. Many fans have that opinion.
I just think we can look at XG and we can, you know, almost like decide like, okay, well, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. And I just look at what I see, and the football's not great, but we're picking up results and we're fifth in the table. And after the last season, I'm really at ease with that.
So all these stats that I've brought up this evening, do you think we are, would you say we're progressing as a team or regressing?
I don't think we're doing either. I think it's really hard to tell at the moment. I know that's really sitting on the fence, and I can feel the splinters in my ass. But I think with the injuries we got, the fact that Frank hasn't got his team yet, you know, if we had judged Ange after 11 games last season, we'd all be like, we're going to win the quad. The quad's on. We're winning everything. We're the best team in the league. But we all know what happened. You know, we've got to just let this play out. And for me, like I said, it is what it is. We'll see what happens over the next couple of. I don't think we're progressing or regressing at the moment. I think we're in a situation where Frank has what he has, and let's see what happens.
When you get more out of him, Nige, though. He's known for improving players over of course, over time, over the season. We can see it. Can he get more out of this? That's why they brought him in, right? He's known for making average players better.
I would argue that we are getting more out of him.
Who's
away
improved?
From home?
Who's improved?
Van der Ven is looking fantastic. I think Odebear's improving over the last couple of weeks. I've been saying for a couple of weeks now that Odebear's slowly starting to improve.
I agree with that.
I think it's hard to say who's he improving, because I just think, you know, he's literally working what he has. And I don't know what we expect from him. I think let's see what happens when these players come back, when he gets the players that he wants in. We're not playing a great style of football at the moment, but I'm sure
he's not happy with it. He has said, hasn't he? He has said he's not happy how things are going, which is good, right? He's acknowledged that it's not where he wants it to be. Yeah,
the forward areas need work. You know, we all know that, and he's said it. So, you know, we've just got to wait and see. And it's hard, isn't it? Because as fans, we want us to be great straight away. It's just not going to happen overnight.
Eugene,
I think whether we regress or progress, I think it depends on your expectations. And
what's your expectations, Eugene?
So, I mean, people who say, well, we were 17th last season, so now, you know, it's growing pains. I mean, again, every opinion is valid. For me, it was obvious that we're not a 17th place team. That's why Ange got sacked. Our talent is way better than that, right? So my expectations personally, as we talked about, would be a good run in the Cups and a top 8. And just seeing something, you know, some adaptability from Frank and seeing players improve. It's been, we haven't seen, or we haven't played enough games to say for sure the players have improved or have not improved. We talked about Poro, we talked about Van der Ven. Different players are in different kind of trajectories. But from what I expected, I'm underwhelmed a bit. Again, I'm not even talking about the results. I'm just talking about the style of play. Again, like for me, personally, if we're not going to win the league, go for the Cups, and I want to be entertained, right? because every weekend we have all our issues and this and that. But when football is a getaway from the everyday issues, so when we play, unless again we want to stink out every game and win the league, which is I'm okay with, or win a trophy, which I'm okay with, in just regular games against Wolves or Brentfords, I just want to be entertained, and I've been bored. So it's results wise, no issues given the table, but kind of what I'm seeing, I am underwhelmed.
Right. Thanks, Eugene. Great stuff. Philly, how you doing, man? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good, bro. How you doing, man? How you doing, Nige? I'm good. I'm good, DANalyst, mate. How are you, mate? All them long nights, man. I feel for you, bro.
Tired, man. It's been heavy. It's been a heavy show, man. A lot of stats and statistics and data because I'm trying to work it out, Philly. I'm trying to work it out. Why are we not doing better? And yeah, I'm learning a lot from what I'm reading out, what I've researched, and hopefully, it helps people understand why we're just not there yet. And I know it's early under Frank, and I know the quality of players is always going to be a question. But Philly, your argument is that you don't expect much at all, really, do you?
No, I don't. I look at the profile of the signings that we make here. None of them inspire me. None of them tell me that they're able to put the foot on the ball and dominate the course of a game. None of them do. So I'm not expecting to be a possession team that creates opportunities and brings the play to the opposition. I'm not expecting that because we're a counter-attacking side. We set up possession there and we hit them on the counter. And when there's spacing behind it, we can be lethal like against Copenhagen. But otherwise, we don't look good. And that is the fact of the players that we've recruited.
Do you expect Philly, though, sorry, Eugene, do you expect Philly, though, that Spurs should be able to work out a way, even with these players, to get some wins? Surely, most Spurs sides over the years win home games, right? Mm-hmm. Why aren't Spurs winning home games, in your opinion? I know you're going to say quality of player, but there's more than that, right? It's got to be.
Well, Dan, we're a counter-attacking team, like I say. To play at home here, right? It's on the home team to bring the game to the opposition. We don't have that capability, Dan, to bring the game.
How did we do it last year? We did it last year at home.
Yeah, because we sacrificed defending last year. We just went all-out attack. So we forgo defending to attack. But this year, well, if we do that at Tottenham right now, we're going to be wide open to the opposition to rip us apart.
Is there no balance there? Is there no middle ground?
There's no middle ground.
One way or the other?
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
I don't agree with that, man.
Means that we're defensively solid, but playing like this, then I would have this over being wide open every week. Because if you're wide open, you don't know how the game's going to go. You could win one week and lose spectacularly the next week.
I disagree with you. Well, so like on a couple of things. First, I don't think we're a counter-attacking team. Our best counter-attacking player is Johnson, who we saw last season can score on the counter given his pace, and he hasn't played. And other than him, we don't have anybody else on the pitch who's a counter-attacking player. Kudus isn't really a counter-attacking player. He needs the ball in his feet. On the left-hand side, we have nobody there. So we don't push numbers forward with the ball. We pass it back and forth. When we get the ball back, Bentancur passes it back. We don't start attacks. We don't hit teams on the counter. So I don't agree that we're a counter-attacking team. I honestly have no idea who we are. And secondly, being defensively solid, again, right? Our strongest unit is our back four and Palhinha, right? So we should be solid enough when we play the low block or mid block, where we should be able to push our number 8 and the wingers up. Pushing Bentancur up or Bergvall doesn't mean we're wide open. We're way better defensively, should be better than last season with Palhinha and with playing mid-block. Given the talent on our squad with Van der Ven, Romero, Palhinha, we should be solid enough where we will not be wide open if we push Bentancur up and the wingers up. So right now we do not play on the counter. We just have empty possession, passing back and forth, and play mid-block for no reason in my mind.
All right, Eugene, yeah? So which number 8 inspires you at Tottenham Hotspurs? Which player inspires you as a number 8?
None. None.
So that answers your question about the number 8, then, does it? Because the number 8, yeah, none of them inspire you. To be fair, Brendan Kerr, like I said earlier on Savage Stream, yeah, right, is not the same player he was before the ACL injury. Yeah, his mobility is gone to me, right? But he is the most progressive footballer that we have at Tottenham Hotspurs going forward, right? And here's another one for you, yeah. I'd rather take a Uruguayan international, yeah, than Bergvall and Bassar, yeah, playing in my football team, and an established player like Benton Kerr over both of them, by the way. But even saying that, Benton Kerr is a squad level player. He should be someone coming off the bench.
Agreed. I
It's all
I
about
agree.
rating
But even
players,
that,
rating
but even
players.
given like those limitations, just look at other teams like Benton Kerr. When we play against Wolves or Brentford, it's like they should be good enough to win those matchups. So yes, I agree with you. I don't rate Benton Kerr. He's a squad player at best. We should upgrade, but at least Frank should try and try and push him up, especially like at home, and not play him in the back. We cannot be playing like a relegation team against lesser opposition, right? So even if the players are not good enough, they're good enough against most teams in the Prem to do some damage, right? Not against top teams. So if we play Liverpool's or Cities, I agree with you. Like sit back, absorb the pressure, and hopefully hit them on the counter. But against the likes of Brentford's, Bournemouth, Wolves, this is not how
That
we should be
draw at
playing.
Wolves, man.
Our
Wolves
team
1-1,
should be good
man.
enough
Unacceptable.
to attack.
Unacceptable for Wolves to
Even
dominate us
Man
like
U,
that.
Manchester United, who are not a good team, we should not be sitting back like that. Again, Palhinha, Van der Ven, Romero, and especially Spence, our back four should be good enough not to concede goals for fun. So even the number 8 is not good enough, push him. Wingers, push him up, but they're all staying around. So when Simmons has the ball, he looks around and nobody's there to support him, which is my issue.
Guys, let me pause it. I want to say big up to Peter. Evening to you. Hi all. 8:33 a.m. in Melbourne is of a $10 super chat. Much appreciated, man. Thank you so much. So, Philly, let me put this to you. Do you think Frank is playing it too safe at home?
Mate, I'm thinking that Thomas Frank is getting the best out of the players here that he can do right now. And for me, yeah, like I said to quite a few people, he's had hardly, for a coach, he's had hardly any time on the training pitch because we're playing 2 games a week. We're playing over was it Carling Cup, Champions League, and then the Premier League as well. So he's had very little time to establish his philosophies on the training pitch. Then we brought players in late years, so he's having to acclimatise these players coming in. So essentially, we wasted the pre-season, by the way, because the players themselves, yeah, like Xavi Simons should have come in at pre-season
I agree with that.
play, right, and then he'd be able to build some relationship with the teammates in the squad. But he doesn't have to. He's got to hit the ground running in hard Premier League games and Champions League games and learn his players while he's doing that. Then he's acclimatizing to England late in the window. So for me, Thomas Frank is getting the best out of what he's got, and to have Spurs 5th, yeah, it's respectable for me because I'm looking at the squad and I'm thinking, it should be nowhere near 5th. You've got so many holes in the team, yeah, that I'm looking at my man and thinking you've been sold down the river, mate.
Well, let's do a comparison now. Let's do a comparison. Why you say that, Philly? Because I want to challenge that. Now, big
We're
up
2
to
points away from being 11th, so the table doesn't matter at this point. So.
But that's what it says, isn't it? So we have to go by the league. And Philly has got a point, but I also see how Eugene's seeing it as well, because I'm worried. I don't think we can stay up there with this football. Another problem is that big up Derek Stray. Another problem is that teams come to our lovely, fantastic stadium. Instead of fearing and dreading playing us, they look forward to coming and playing. They are always up for it. What do you reckon, guys, before we go on to the league table?
Same. And you got the away fans as well. Got a nice little corner. Stick them up in the corner. So don't put them, right by the corner flag, all nice. And we treat our away fans and our away players. It's like they're coming to a palace, isn't it? Beautiful food, great changing rooms. Gone are the days of turning the heating off and just giving them cold water back in the day. Yeah. Spurs need to do something at home, definitely.
Right, let's get to the league table. Let's have a little look at this league table. Right, let's bring this up now and we can get discussing. Now, how was Sunderland above us? And, you know, winning at home, you know, Sunderland ain't got a better squad than us. I'm sorry. They haven't.
Playing one game a week, though.
Yeah, but still, they're winning at home. We've got to be able to win at home, Philly. Brentford are winning at home. Can't just be we got 2 games a week. It's just a lazy reason, man.
Hey, I'm looking at the team. I'm looking at what we are doing, right? And we are playing the way we set up. I'm telling you now, it's better for us playing away from home, where the opposition can come onto us and we can got the spacing behind there to hit them. That's what I am looking at. Even the Copenhagen game, yeah, if you watch how many goals we scored there, it's because they came forward, and when we had 10 men, we could hit them in the space behind. This is the same way I looked at Real Madrid earlier in the season. Some teams, yeah, are lethal when they're down to 10 men because they've got the spacing behind. When the opposition come forward, they can hit them. Right now, I'm looking at Thomas Frank and I'm thinking that's the kind of manager we have. When I'm looking at the technical director, yeah, Paratici, and I'm thinking that is the technical director we have. So fans have to buckle in because this is what they asked for. They asked for Paratici to come back. They asked for a manager restructure, and we got it. So I'm looking at the season, Daniel, and Eugene's right. I don't care where Spurs are in the table, to be fair, because I'm looking at it and thinking it's respectable for what you're working with, because you need to have a better brand of players. You need to have more options, and we don't have it, Dan. You tell me one player in that subs bench here that tells you that if Spurs are losing a game, they're going to come on and score. Definitely come on and score.
That it's not just that for me, Philly. It's about how Frank is setting us up. You know, to be more braver on the ball, to attack games more, invert a fullback. Yeah, invert a fullback. As Eugene said, we've got some good defenders there. Got Paulina in front. We can let one of those fullbacks go. Yeah, we can, you know, play with the likes of Wilson instead of worrying about what Man United are going to do to us. Man United are not that great. They're not that great.
So we've got a fullback on the right hand side in Poro, Daniel. But I don't think he's a fullback.
Spence on the right.
Yeah, he's no. He's a right. Okay, Spence is right. Yeah. So yeah. Spence is covering the right back and left back. Can he do that at the same time? Because I don't think he can. No player can cover 2 positions at the same time. Yeah.
No, but you had Doggy there. You had a Doggy there, Philly. Doggy was he was there. A Doggy was there. He could have played left back against Man U.
A player that's known to be injured. Dan. That comes in the team. Plays a few games and he gets injured. So let's play him against Man United, yeah, where he's already played in midweek, and then see if we can last again. No, man, we can't keep playing him like that. This
he didn't have to play the full game. He could have played the first 60 minutes and then he could have subbed him.
But Poro,
it's the whole approach, Philly. It's the whole approach, Frank.
He was
more worried about Man United than he was about us taking the game to them, because that team selection evidences it. It does. He bottled it. Let me be honest. He bottled it. In my opinion.
Dan. I don't know if he did. I saw that team, and like I said earlier, I think he played the way he set up. Yes, playing Spence at left back probably was to cover Abuemo, because Spence is a better defender. But the idea was to play Poro, to get him forward, to get balls into the box for players like Richarlison and Mwani to get in and get the nut on the ball and score some goals. That physicality up there, you got to remember, United had Maguire. You know, they got a big defence.
Yeah, but Nige, what happened to that performance against Copenhagen, mate? That performance against Copenhagen was a little bit of progression. Yeah, we saw some triangles. Yeah. We saw players working better together. We saw midfield closer to the attack. Yeah, it was the combination. Savvy had his best game. Wilson had a good game. Mwani was in the game.
Copenhagen is a terrible team.
I know, but there's small things what I wanted to see go into the Man United game. Stick to the same lineup. Build on what was good. Not saying we would have won the game, but we would have bloody had a better chance. Would have created more chances. You know, keep that cohesion. But he threw it out the window. He dropped. He played Richarlison as a left winger. And then he played Spence there. And for me, and then Frank realised what he'd done wrong and he changed it second half. Because he threw on those players. Right? Yeah, but it's an opportunity missed in my position. We've just lost to Chelsea. We just lost to Chelsea. Embarrassing, man. That performance against Chelsea is not acceptable from any Spurs side.
And also, like Man U, like their midfield gets overrun on weekly basis, right? The double pivot or with Bruno and Casemiro, right? It's a two-man midfield.
Yeah.
So in order for us to win the game, like we did last season when we beat them, right? You overload the midfield and you just go at them down the middle, and that's the way to beat them. Like they're not a good
Who
side.
plays then? So who plays in the midfield if you overload the midfield? Who plays? Who's your three in
Well, who
midfield?
played there last season, right? You just Polina, even it doesn't matter, Bentancur and Xavi or Sar. But any of our three midfielders who play on regular basis should be good enough to give United issues like they did last season when we did not have Polina. So we're good enough down the middle to cause that United team issues.
Eugene, can I ask
just
you
didn't.
something? Is Sarah 10?
I don't know
In
what
your
he is.
opinion?
He did well in a 10 early on.
No, I don't
He's
think
not a
he's 10.
10, but he
I
did
don't
okay.
think he's 10.
He's not
Go on.
no, he's
No,
not
it's
a
not a 10.
traditional 10. He's not a creative midfielder, is he?
Against
He's a
some
presser.
teams, though,
He's a box to
he's
box.
okay. He did well early on. He presses, he takes shots from outside the box. He's not a 10, he's not really an 8, but he did okay. But Philly, a question for you, right? Like you mentioned, the setup and the players are not good enough. Why do you think we have not seen the back three from Frank after the PSG game? Because again, if you look at our team, at our weaknesses, at our strengths, right? Going with 2 10s with Simmons and Kudus as 2 10s, right? Like, why do you think Frank has not changed things up as he showed in the preseason?
Because I don't think we have enough capabilities as centre back here. I don't think we have enough centre backs to play a back three. I'm not being nasty, but
The last few weeks.
we've had no Jagushin, we've had no Takai, so that's 2-man down. Right,
But PSG, he played it
Danso
against the
Danso's there.
PSG, were the same.
Right, we had
squad.
Danso. Right, go on.
I'm
Danso,
saying
Van
against
Ven,
the
Romero.
PSG, where the same players injured, and he played the back three. Even though we didn't have Takai, we didn't have Dragoshin, we didn't have Ben Davies either, I don't believe.
Right, so
at
let's
least
play a back three in more games, yeah? With only 3 fit centre backs. Let's play a back three, and then what happens, Eugene? Because remember, we're playing 2 games a week, so it's game after game after game. Don't you think some of these defenders here are dead to be injured again? So
no, I'm
now
saying
when
at
we
least for
play
a
a
half.
back three, yeah, and another defender goes down, right? What happens then?
Then you go back to a back four, don't you?
No,
You have to
I
go
agree
back
with
to
you,
a
but
back
at
four.
least for a half. At least sometimes, right? At least like
He
if we're
has done that.
losing, second half, change things up. First half, like just tweak things based on that position, based on their weaknesses and our
He
strengths.
has done that though. He has done that.
Has he?
There's been games when we've been winning and he's brought Danzo on for the last 15 to shore it up at the back and play 3 at the back.
Yeah, well,
So he
5 at
has
the
done
back.
it.
More.
Not,
Yeah,
but
but
not from the start. Not from
no,
the
5 at
start.
the
That's
back
what
though.
Eugene's
But
saying.
I'm talking about the attacking, right? Of course, if we're ahead, he's going to bring Danso on to play back 5. I'm talking about playing with 2 10s and playing back 3, not to be defensive, but to be attacking, right? If our weaknesses are our wings, play Simmons and Kudus together and see if they can create more chances with more space.
There's a chance he will do that once he gets his players, everyone fit.
Maybe. I hope so.
You've got to try something different. Philly, just your opinion, mate. What can happen? What can improve in the short term? I know I know you question everything about the players and the quality, and you think Frank's doing an okay job, and he is to some part. He is. What can Frank do in the short term to get us winning at home, to make us a little bit more progressive going forward? There's got to be some solutions.
Right, okay. I'm looking at the players that we have here to come back from injury. Well, I reckon that once Kulu comes back here, then that will give you the mobility in the midfield because you can go both left and right, yeah. And I think he'll play better as the 8 because I don't look at him as a creative midfielder. I look at him more as somebody that can get the ball, yeah, and keep it and carry the ball forward. So that would help. That will help the team function more, right? Then we're also looking at hopefully when Takai and Dragoshin's back, he can then play a back 3. Then he can play your wing backs up there, and then that way the left hand side is more resolute because Adoji would be more of a wing back, which is what he was, right? And push him on the overlap on the left hand side, and then that would also help Porro because Porro could then play as the wing back on the right hand side, giving width on the right hand side, which means Kudus can then push infield, and then you could play. So roughly, I'm looking at a 3-4-2-1. which is what I would be looking at with Kudus with Simmons on the left hand side of the attack, and with Kudus on the right hand side helping the striker. But then again, Dan, this is the problem I have again. And this is why I've said this all summer, and you know this, Dan, and I've said this, and you know this, Nige. I would be looking for a hold-up striker like a Dusan Vlahovic here to play as the focal front man up front, because I don't like the
Tony,
fact that
Philly, would you take Tony?
I think Tony's perfect. You need that kind of big man up front there to hold the ball up and then bring the other two players behind him into the game. Because once we get the ball up to the striker, I'm sorry, but none of our strikers inspire me that they hold the ball up. And the ball just comes back because none of them can hold it up. And that's if the pigeon can stay on side, by the way, because, oh my word, I'm not even going to mention our friend there. He is awful. Eugene, what was it I said years ago? The worst Brazilian side in the generation. Only for ESPN to come out and say a year later, the worst Brazilian side in a generation. And that is with your man, with the man up front, Rodrigo, add with Vida in the team, the worst Brazilian team of the generation, dude. That's savage, man. When you think they had Romario, Ronaldo, and they're left with that now, wow. That's all I'm saying, bro.
Oh, guys. Look, let's just do some questions before we kind of wrap up. We're not going to go on for too much longer. Let's fire some questions to you guys and get into it. There was actually something else I wanted to show you, actually, which just for your information, about how poor we are at kind of progressing the ball, and it's comparing to another team. Let me bring that up, guys. You'll see that? Yeah, build up phase, just have a good look at it. Let me give you the explanation around it. Bear with us a second. Okay, so Tottenham left. This is what Frank's doing. He's prioritising security and central passing options close to the defence, the free chain and central box. Their structure is more compact and methodical in the first phase, whereas Brighton right prioritises attacking aggression and midfield overloads by pushing players high early. The two chain and high flat four, this is riskier, but if successful, leads to more faster progression and more dangerous positions in the opponent's half. So look, if I look at Spurs's, and I think that looks pretty awful, to be honest, compared to Brighton and many teams. I could bring up many other teams' build-up phase. This is just an example I used today. So it looks bad because compared to Brighton, that we look more static and conservative, with fewer players committed high up the pitch, suggesting a slower or more cautious style of initial build-up. Brighton's shape, in contrast, looks more dynamic and stretched, which is aggression, attacking posture. And in summary, Tottenham's structure is generally more focused on a stable central platform for ball progression. The three-man base ensures safety and width, while the central block of 2-4 players is set up to receive the ball on the turn and play vertically, line-breaking passes. So look, Brighton's style is kind of more focused on drawing in the higher press to create a huge space in the mid to high block, leading to quick vertical attacks. So the fundamental difference is there for us all to see, guys. Interesting, right?
Listen, sorry, Dana. That to me looks like Spurs bypass their midfield because they know the midfield is limited there. So you're just basically passing it from the back to the front, like you said there, looking for them passes in between there to try and get in behind the opposition. Again, what I said to you earlier. So you're a counter-attacking team, Eugene. Welcome to the game. You're a counter-attacking team. They're looking for line-breaking passes, which means that you're looking for the place in behind, which makes you a counter-attacking team, Eugene. Which is what I said. Soak up the opposition to attack and then hit them with a counter attack. You do not have the players there to bring the game to the opposition, which is why we struggle at home. Because the impetus is at home, yes, for the home team to bring the game to the opposition. We do not have that. We do not have that midfielder, that number 8, to dominate the game and bring the game under control to control the ebb and flow of the game. Whether we go fast or short, we do not have that. We bypass the midfield. We look for those balls in behind.
But Philly, if you look at Brighton's team, who are their midfielders?
I'll tell you. I was
There's
just
no
looking
way
it up, Eugene.
their midfield is better than ours. and on the ball. And again, the counter-attacking, it implies fast and quick counter. Romero is the only player who actually tries to play the long balls. When we get the ball, even when we bypass the midfield, the ball goes sideways. That's not the counter-attacking, right? We don't have the direct players that are required for counter-attacking. We play the ball side to side. We don't push.
All right, Eugene, I like your argument. Right, now I'm going to take it from here. Right, now, Yao Gomez at Wolves here. Tell me one player in the Spurs team here that has the ball progression skills of Yao Gomez at Wolves. And remember, Wolves are lower than Spurs. So tell me one player in the Spurs midfield that has that capability and skill set.
Oh, but we're talking about the Brighton setup, right? We're comparing us to Brighton, and why can't we do what they do?
Yeah, but again, they have different midfielders, Eugene. Yeah,
should we go over their midfielders, Philly, Eugene, Nige? Let's go over their midfielders. Babella, yeah, central with Ayare, who they signed in the summer. They're there too, and then up front they've got Rudiger, well back above Gomez and Minto on the wings.
Yeah, you cannot tell me.
Brighton are a good footballing side. They have been for years, and as a club, they keep bringing through the same kind of, like we said earlier, Eugene, the same kind of managers.
Good point, Nige.
Their philosophy is the same. Tottenham been up and down, changing every season.
Yeah,
and I think to compare us to Brighton is it's a bit unfair, I think, because Brighton are, like I say, a really good footballing side.
Frank's not that type of manager, is he? He's not that type of manager. He doesn't play that football. Managers. Yeah. And this is the problem, isn't it? Like, fans, they're going to watch their team. There's boos every game. They're not enjoying themselves. Yeah, we're not winning. People spend a lot of money to watch their team. And we're losing, drawing, not picking up any wins. It's not acceptable. Something's got to change. Something's got to be fixed. Yeah, because I don't know how long the fans will put up with not winning at home. Whoever quality of player we got, there's got to be a different approach at home. I'm sorry, there has to be.
And just one thing then to Philly's, like, on the counter thing, under Conte, for example, right? It was clear, like, that was his style. We played on the counter, which, like, it made sense. But again, like, right now, we are set up like we want to play on the counter. We just don't, because the passes are sideways. And then to your point, Nige, like, if you look at the Brighton team, obviously we all know they're a machine. But if you just look at the midfield and the skill set of their midfielders and the quality on the ball compared to ours, we're not looking at Madrid or Liverpool, right, or City. Like, you can say Bentancur is not good enough for us if we want to be a top team, but he's not worse than what Brighton has. Or Palhinha is not a great passer, but he can make those short, progressive passes. So
he's doing okay, Eugene. Palhinha's doing okay.
Yeah, but he's not fine. Modric, but he can make those short, progressive passes. So we should be able to do what Brighton does. The difference is the setup and the instructions.
Agreed. But comparing Brighton is, if we're going to get into that, we could say, well, who would have thought Casado would be the player he is? Brighton signed players who become really good players. Sure. I think most of us will take Belabor on our side. I think he's a top midfielder. Fantastic midfielder.
Top player.
Yeah, but guys, the only thing is misprofiling, no disrespect, yeah. The only thing is misprofiling players. I'm looking at the Tottenham squad, and I'm thinking, right, last season we played Basuma as a 6. He is no way, shape, or form, and I said this last season, by the way, a 6. He is an 8, right? He was a 6 here that had a fork in him. Every time that he would go forward, right, it would be like, mate, you got to go back to the defensive midfielder. He is not a 6. He is an 8, right? He should have been playing in the ball and going forward, but we misprofiled him. Now this season, we don't have that because Basuma. I want Basuma gone, man. You can't be undermining the manager with him still being there. Thomas Frank obviously wants him out, and it's causing a disturbance in the back here, so he has to go.
Yeah.
No. I don't care how much Tottenham get for him. He has to go. Right now, we are ready. Bentancur is the only other established midfielder next to him, but he is not that type of midfielder there that's going to bring the ball forward and carry it. He doesn't have that mobility anymore. The ACL finished him off for that, right? So he's a moderate player now. Bergwijn is young and he is raw. Now he'll take the ball, but he'll bring it forward and he'll lose possession. And because he's out of position, Spurs are wide open for the counter attack. So I don't really want to see Bentancur in that position. Sarr is a better version of Bentancur, but even there, he's still limited with what he could do, right? So he gives the ball away, and then again, we are wide open at the back with just Paulinho against the whole of the midfield. This is another issue that we have. When you look at the skill set of the midfielders that we're looking for, we don't have that skill set to be a team that's going to get the ball and dominate position and keep possession and attack the position. We don't have that unless we forego the defending. Now, I saw that last season, and Spurs finished 17th because of it. Right, so anyone out there thinking, "Oh, you just think we're 17th?" No, I look at the players that we've got, and a lot of the players that fans put on pedestals aren't as good as fans make them out to be. Maybe that might be the issue. Maybe Thomas Frank is looking at the players and thinking, "Mate, I'm between a rock and a hard place here," and thinking, "I don't know what I'm doing with these players here, but I'm getting the best out of what I've got right now."
Right, guys, I'm going to segue. I'm going to segue quickly to what Peter said, about this, and I want to question, and I want your honest answers from all of you. Okay, so obviously Peter's saying I like Frank, but I'll back him, but he isn't a winner. He's never played the game. Okay, so do people in the chat, people on the panel, do we think that Frank has that ruthlessness, that desire to win at all costs, that I don't know, not X factor, but you know what I mean, that do we think Frank is that guy to lead Tottenham forward of what you've seen so far? And I know it's very early. Honest
We don't
answers,
know.
guys.
I mean, that was my question in the very beginning. That's why Glasner for me was the best choice, even though there's no way we're going to get him, but he's a proven winner. With Frank, there are many, many managers out there in the world who are very good tacticians, who do very well for mid-table teams or lower teams that have low expectations, that cannot make that step up and manage a top team with egos, with expectations, right? So a lot of managers, even in the Prem recently, who did well for lower teams, failed making that step up. With Frank, good tactician, very good coach. He's a good guy. He hasn't won anything in his career, which is fine. You don't win until you win. However, for me, that's always a question. Until he proves himself, for us, until he wins something, there's always a question.
Eugene, what's your inkling on him as a manager? Right, now what you've
early.
seen at Brentford, at Spurs, do you have hope that he can be that guy, that winner,
I hope
that takes Spurs to the highest as possible?
Looking at just his resume, just strictly on being able to improve players and adapt, like the way he was sold to us, based on that, I do have hope. I'm going to be positive. I'll say, you know what, he'll figure it out. But up until now, from what I've seen, I'm questioning that. I'm not sure if he can take that step up. For me, I say 60-40, 60% that he'll succeed, 40% that he'll be another mid-table manager who failed making that step up. I hope I'm wrong. I root for him. I'm giving him a year plus. I hope he succeeds. But right now, I'm asking questions.
Fair enough. And who wants to go next? Philly or Nige?
Nige, you can go before me, mate.
What is the remit of, what are we talking here? We're talking league titles.
I'm talking about a manager who's going to come in and win things for Spurs, be that difference maker, make those tough decisions in games, brave, take, ruthlessness. Obviously it's early. We've got to give him time. He could do it. We don't know. He needs backing. He needs a lot of backing from the board. So that's going to come into play as well. And we have to watch that closely in January and the summer. But from what you think and your inkling, like I said to Eugene, do you think he's that guy? Because I remember you talking about Almiron coming from Sporting Lisbon, right, to Man United, and you just never thought he was that guy to take that step up. So what do you think?
No. Honestly, as much as I've been a massive France supporter, I will back him all the way. Do I think he will take us to the next level? No, I don't. But what I do think he will do is stabilise the club from what's happened over the last couple of years, to give us a grounding. And I think there's every chance he could win us a cup. I think there's every chance of that. But I think he could take us here Whether he can take us here or not, I'm probably don't think he can. But I think he's going to be the man before the man, maybe.
Okay, fair enough. So you don't think he's got that vavavoom?
No.
Okay, fair enough. Good points. Very good points. Both of you guys, Eugene, Nige. People in the chat as well. I'm going to go and have a look in a minute and see what people are saying. Philly?
All right. First and foremost, Thomas Frank is going to have to coach a lot of these players because a lot of these players, like I say, are raw. They're young, they're raw, they've had no leadership, they've had no direction, and best of all, they've had no structure. So he needs to come in and install that. Coaches are notoriously known for starting slowly. Pochettino started slowly, by the way, for anyone out there. Right, so please, let's not do this. Coaches start slowly. They take their time to get their message and philosophy across to get to the players. Right. So I'm gonna give him time to do that. Thomas Frank, to me, is gonna come and do what he can do. But until the board back him properly, buy the right profile of players. Don't waste the summer like we did this year again. 2 weeks chasing Morgan Gibbs White with nothing in the background. 2 weeks of chasing Eze with nothing in the background. 2 weeks of hearing that the season doesn't start until the summer window doesn't start till July.
Billy, I'm drawing you in, man. Frank, has he got the
I know exactly where I'm going, bro. Don't worry.
Right. I'll let you land.
Don't worry. I'm rounding it up. I'm going back to Thomas Frank. You know me, Dad. I'm going back to Thomas Frank. Right now, I want to see what Thomas Frank to me. We only get Spurs to a certain level, whether it's 6. Fair play to him, bro. But this is still I'm gonna see until he gets what he needs. We are just gonna be that team.
But to be fair, no manager at Spurs get what they need, right? That's why we've been in the position that we're in. So I guess the question is, like, one of the reasons why he was brought in is to make best out of kind of who he's got. So the question is he doing his best or is he not, right? Because obviously we all know, even with Levy gone, Enoch is still Enoch, and I don't have much faith that anything is going to change. So Phil, you and I agree on that. So the question is, can he work with who he's got and make the best out of this situation and nick a cup along the way or not? I don't know. We'll see.
So Philly, I just got to double check what you're meaning here, because I heard what you said. You're not sure if he has that winning mentality like we see top managers across the globe winning titles, winning cups. Are you just not sure yet, or you just want to give it time?
I don't think he's been in that position, Dan, to be fair. I don't think...
What's your inkling?
Right. When I see him play against PSG, right, he took the 3 at the back, so Tottenham took a 2-0 lead in that game, only to lose the game 3-2 in the end, right? So he can handle the big games and take the lead. The question is, can he maintain it? The answer I don't know at the moment in time, but I need to wait and see, because Poch got to finals and semi-finals, but we know at the time, that he choked and he couldn't get over the line. So I need to see if Frank is able to do that, and I haven't seen it yet.
Great answers, everybody. For me, I'm not sure. I don't know if he's got that. We have to see it. We have time, but it's just interesting to kind of hear your guys' takes on it. And let's go to the chat as well. So Mashin, Joe, big up to you. I don't think Frank has that X factor, but he's got good hair. He definitely has got a good hair. Guy saying, I'm being honest, no, but I'm willing to be proved wrong. He threw away the cup for the Chelsea loss. Bloody hell, he did. That was his first mistake for me, throwing that cup, man. Disappointing, but we move on. Let's see what else is saying. This Ellie, big up Ellie. Frank is just too nice. I don't think he's that guy. He's too pleasant. He reminds me of a uni professor.
I love Queen Ellie. Big up Queen Ellie.
Big up. Fair enough. Tottenham Ranger says Brentford lost all their players and the fans are saying they were better now than they were under Frank. And this is interesting, isn't it? We're going to be playing Brentford twice in a very short succession, right? But at the end of the year and also the beginning of the year, 2 games against Brentford. Dare not lose that, Frank. Dare not lose those games. I'm sorry. Guys, what do you think? Am I right? Am I wrong?
Given the way we've played against the likes of Wolves and Bordeaux and Monaco's, no game I'll be confident in saying we should, we're going to win. We should be winning, but I'm not taking any game for granted. So anything can happen.
I've got to say, some of the Frank hate in the chat is unreal.
What's the balance, Nige? What's the balance? Your observation from the show tonight, balance-wise, with Frank, fans, not fans?
I think it's very 50-50, it seems. I just don't get it. I know he's not your fashionable, your sexy manager, but
Do you
I
know
don't
what
know.
this
I
is?
think he's doing the best job.
It's the agendas, like, because I know some people in the chat, like all the Ange defenders, they were taking so much crap last season from Ange haters about, oh, this and that. So now they're over, they're taking it out on Frank and the other way around. People who were attacking Ange last season, now they're making excuses for Frank when he's making similar mistakes. So I think it's not even about analyzing the games at this point.
Yeah.
It's just they're two extremes, and they're just using kind of their agendas to
Ange
fight.
had 2 years. Ange had 2 years to preview
I'm
his
not arguing.
ship.
I'm just saying the people.
Frank's had 11 games. He's been there 3 months.
But I'm just saying it's the agendas that people have, right?
Yeah, I get it.
You know what people are like, man. They're going to have agendas, and
that's why it's so split.
As a fan, you're in your rights to say what you want, right?
Absolutely,
Nobody can tell anybody how they feel about their club. Yeah, some of the views you could say a bit extreme, but they're not happy. Fans are not happy with this football right now. I'm not happy with this football. It's got to improve. It's got to. Of course, I'll give it time. I will give it time. And I'll give the board, and I want the back board to deliver in January with some top players. I'm not messing about here. If I see some potential.
Dan, I love it to pieces, yeah. I love it to pieces, Dan, yeah. But maybe the frame doesn't belong at Thomas Frank's door, yeah, but it belongs at Johan Lang's door, mate. Maybe
the people say that too, yeah. It's a combination of things, Billy. It's a combination. You're right.
Johan Lang for me has got away with murder because to me, yeah, right, he should never have been promoted. To him being promoted, yeah, off the back of that window, right, which was negligent, by the way, because he knew that Son was leaving. And even if Son didn't leave here, right, he had a contingency plan for Son to exit, right? To him to be promoted yet was rewarding failure. And Arsenal do this, and I don't like this premise here today, says I do, in football especially, yet, where failure is rewarded. And that is exactly what happened to Johan Lang. You allowed that negligent winter to happen, right? Instead of being sacked, which is what you should have been, because there's no way Spurs should be that wide open and left short in so many positions that this man has been promoted. And that to me is wrong.
Well, what about our medical team? What about just our scouting network? We've been in the same situation. That's why the club is in the state that we're in, because, the medical team, I would have sacked everybody 5 years ago. But now we still see, oh, it's only an ankle sprain. Oh, it's only a surgery. Oh, he's out for a year. Like, how many times have we seen that in the past couple of years? It's crazy.
It's crazy. It is crazy for Eugene. You're right. Good point, Philly. You've got a very good point about Lange. He should have been sacked. I 100% agree with that. It's not just blame at Frank's door, but I watch the games week to week. I analyse the games, and what I'm seeing, I'm not too happy with, and I will question it. And that's my right as a fan. I don't expect everybody to agree with me, and that's the whole fun of it, right? This is what we do, this YouTube thing, to debate, to talk about it, to try and work it all out. So no, it's good stuff, man. It's good to have different opinions. So just want to go to Derek's comment. So go for it, Eugene.
You can call me that fan, but so the Man U game, for the first time in 17 years since I've been following Spurs, I missed the Big Six fixture or the top six fixture because usually it's an appointment television. I wake up at 4:30 with my son. We watch those, especially the big games. First time ever for me, I missed that big game, and honestly, I didn't even care about watching replay. I'm like, oh, I'll just watch the highlights and I'll see people talk about it. And I didn't even oh, I gotta watch the replay. I'm like, United, Spurs, whatever. For the first time ever.
Eugene, I get it. The football's not great at the moment. I understand that, and I just think it's the whole thing. It is. We should enjoy watching our team. We should enjoy Spurs trying to take the games to opposition, especially at home. Got to do more. So I just want to go to Derek's comment. He says, Frank could be the man to lead us forward. It depends on what ammunition he's given over the next couple of windows. It also depends on him getting a handle on the injury situation. No more cuddles. Yeah, good points. Tottenham Ranger double up on Kudos and Frank runs out of ideas. That's what it looks like at the moment. It is a worry. Let me see if there's any more comments about if he has that X factor. I can't see any. Look, let me just throw one more thing at you about, this is what I saw today, man. This is just crazy stuff. This just shows you we're getting away with it, man. Look at this. Look where we are. Okay, so it says here we're, I don't know if you can see it, guys. I might have to zoom in a bit here. Shows us look, we're fifth in the league, but then we should be 16th. This is some crazy stuff here. Guys, just give us your thoughts on it. This shows us we're getting away with it right now.
I'll just go back to it. We finished 17th last year. What we expected.
Nige, I'm sorry, but we're better than that, man.
We
I'm sorry, we are better than that. I do. We're better than that.
We have no left wing at all. Left wing is null and void. You might have put an excellent left wing. Do you know what? Yeah, if you've got boots, right, Dan, or Nige, or even Eugene, yeah, if you've got boots here, come down to Tottenham Hotspurs and play on the left-hand side. That's how bad the left-hand side is. That's why Kudus is doubled up on the right-hand side, because the left-hand side is null and void. So therefore, teams can afford to just bring a man across and defend the right-hand and defend the right-hand side, because the left-hand side, like I said, you might as well put an X there and that's done. So once that side is done, yeah, and you're lopsided, by the way, what are you expecting Thomas Frank to do? It's a miracle.
Well, that's his job, man. He's got to work it out. Play two up front, play fullbacks, play wing backs, go three at the back. Do something to negate.
Sorry, it doesn't have the squad to be doing that, though, Dan, because like I said, yeah, if you play three at the back, right, and one of them, God forbid, one of them go down because of the amount of games that we're playing, then what does he do afterwards? Then he goes to two at the back here, then the fans complain. So he's stuck between a rock and a hard place if you look at it anyway. This is why I washed my hands of the season. I looked at it and I said, this is the manager's first season. We're going to get ups and downs here. We're going to win games that we should. So
is it acceptable, Philly, that we don't win at home? Is that acceptable, Philly? As you as a fan, is it acceptable that we do not win home games? It's not, in my opinion. We've got to win home games. Even it's a rebuild, even if it's Frank getting used to the team, even though we've got a lack of quality. Sorry, man, we've got to start winning at home.
And right, Dan, like I said before, yeah, which player in the squad inspires you they're going to get the ball, and carry the ball to their position? Which player in the squad
He's got players, man. He's got players. I know Mwani's injured now. Mwani's injured now. You could get more out of him. You can get more out of Xavi. Obviously, Wilson is showing a little bit of promise. Tell scored a couple of goals now. We've got to find the right position for these players. Tell has got to be more of an inside forward. Play two up front. Do something different. Frank's got to work it out. That's his job. Now I'll ask you a question again, Philly. I'll ask you again. Is it acceptable for Spurs not to win at home?
Mate, there is no...
Can you accept it as a fan? I know you doubt everything. I know you do, and I get it. But as a watching fan, do you accept that not winning at home in Frank's first season?
It is what it is for me. I told you. I said this before, and I said it in the summer. It is what it is for me. I looked at the squad and I said to myself, you don't have the capabilities to bring the game to the position. So I'm not expecting anything. If a team come out and attack us at home, right? Say like a Man City come and attack us at home and they give us a space in behind. We can do that. Like Copenhagen. But if you're looking to bring the game to the opposition, Dan, which player tells me they're going to open a low block? None of them do.
What's Xavi brought in for then? Why did we bring Xavi in for then? Wasn't that? That's what we're hoping he can do over time, right?
He panicked, right? Spurs, look, Dan, let's not play this game yet. Spurs panicked in the last minute, all right? They don't even know what Xavi's position is, because I said in the summer, I think Xavi is more of an 8 than a 10. I don't think he's that creative midfielder that you're looking for. I think he's a player that brings the ball forward, gives it to somebody who's creative, to be able to find the gaps in behind. But that's just me, Dan. Right, so I'm looking at the profile of player that I'm looking at. I think Spurs panicked here because we didn't get Eze, we didn't get Morgan White, so they went for Simmons in the end, but they didn't look at the profile of player that we were looking for.
You don't rate him, Philly. You do not rate Xavi.
Xavi Simmons, is very much hitting hope, Dan, because I don't know. 1 minute, I looked at him for Holland in the semi-final against England, right, and I looked at him there and I thought, mate, you don't look like you belong in this place, but at least you're here. At least you're established. So it's still a lot of hitting hope for me. But I'm looking at Mwani and I'm thinking, mate, that was a panic buy because you didn't do what you're supposed to do in the summer, so you just reached around what was left in the dregs of the market in the last minute.
Yeah, but Frank said he was. I don't know. It's like we did have money.
There was a miscommunication, Eugene. Is that the one? Is that the one you're talking about? The same one that Johan Lang said he spoke to him at 7 o'clock in the morning every day, but then there was a miscommunication between him and Thomas Frank. So, what was it? A miscommunication at 7 a.m. in the morning that you didn't hear the manager tell you when that player coming in the door. Is that the same? Is that the same Lang who said I bought Tell because it's Champions League experience? Yet Thomas Frank left Tell out the squad. Is that the same one?
That's the thing. So what's Tell like? We had 70 million for Savio, and we did not bring any left winger. And Frank said, I only want players who are my like number one choice. So obviously the money was there. Unlike before, where money wasn't there, we did have money available, right? We made the bid for Savio. We were willing to go up to like 85. So the question is, why didn't we bring a left winger? Did Frank say, no, I don't want Lookman, I don't want whoever else, or did Lang just not bring anybody in?
Yeah, but Spurs went for Fafana in the last minute of the window, Eugene. It's just
Yeah,
that Fafana said no because I'm not moving on the last day. So what took Tottenham so long to go in the last day of the window? Yeah. And with and the same with his club as well. They turned around and said no because you waited last minute, so they had no time to buy a replacement. This is bad planning, Eugene.
Oh, it's terrible planning. I agree.
Planning from the football club.
I agree. Right. Well, we messed up with Eze. Eze should have been a Spurs player, but ultimately, Dan, like just going back to your question, for me, I do like at home or home form, I don't care this season if we lose at home. I just want to see intent and I want to see fight. And if we have fight, but the players are not good enough, I'll be like, you know what? We fight. The manager is trying to instill the philosophy where we're gonna go at teams, but we need new players. Right now, I just don't know. I look at other teams, our players are not as bad as people say. If you go player by player, we don't have worse team or worse squad than 12 other teams. I mean, we're 8th, maybe 9th if you look at the talent. So we're not terrible. So again, if we lose at home, I'm okay with it this season to work through the growing pains. Just show me a one manager to instill the fighting philosophy. Fight, show intent, and if you lose, you lose. I'm okay with that. Right. But playing cowardly football where I honestly don't know, is it the player? I mean, it's the players, it's the manager. Honestly, I'm not sure. And if we do bring Semenyo, and if we do bring whoever else, honestly, right now, I'm not 100% sure that Frank will change anything up if he has other options. I just have no idea. Is that how he likes to play, or is it the players? I do not know currently. That's my fear.
Okay, so I'm going to say my final say of the evening, and then I'm going to go around the panel. You can give your final says as well. Big up the chat. Thank you so much for everyone being here and commenting some fantastic stuff in the comments. And please subscribe if you haven't, and subscribe to Nige as well. Much appreciated. So this is how I am as a fan. Now I put a challenge to Frank and his players. Yeah, I do. I look around that league, and a lot of teams are inconsistent. Yeah, other than kind of Arsenal, City, Chelsea doing okay. Do better, Spurs. Frank, work it out and go for it, because I look at around us. No one's that great. Yeah, we can take advantage of this inconsistencies from other teams this season. Yes, we need backing in January to help the side. Yes, we need returning players from injury. But I put the challenge to Frank and this team to do better. Yeah, that's my challenge. Anyone else now? You go give your final thoughts of the evening. It's been a cracking show.
I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. Let's just give the manager time. Philly said something bang on earlier. He said that Frank hasn't had time on the training pitch with the players. Game every 3 or 4 days. Let's see. I bet you any money we are a different team after Christmas. I know it's hard at the moment. We have to put up with some crap football, but we're doing all right away from home. Let's look forward to the away games. Yeah, I would say just give the manager time. Let's be relaxed. Let's not call for manager's head just yet. Let's see how we progress once the injuries are back and once maybe we get a few players in January.
So, Nige, what do you want to see in the forthcoming weeks? What's your expectations? What do you want to see? Because you've got, as a fan, you're watching your team, right? What do you want to see?
I want us to see a bit more progressive football at home. We have been a bit too defensive at home, a bit fearful, I think. A lot of players scared to maybe make mistakes, but the fans have to help as well. You know, we got to stop getting on the players' back. I'm happy with the away form. I just want to see a bit more progression at home, a bit more attacking football if possible. Other than that, I'm happy.
Okay. Thank you, Nige. Great stuff. Who's next? Philly, Eugene.
Eugene, you can go, mate.
Sorry, what was the question again, Dan?
Just final thoughts of the evening for you. What do you expect in the forthcoming weeks? Are you setting any targets? Are you setting any challenges like I did?
I mean, again, I don't want to, like, unlike many fans, I don't care if we finish 8th or 15th or 16th. If we don't win, we don't win. So for me, my expectations before the season are the same as right now. We should be able to be top 6, and I want to see us make a cup run. We have a squad that's not great, but it's decent enough to do both, I believe. And I agree on the Frank front where, yes, he hasn't enough time yet. Anybody who's calling for Frank out, that's silly. He needs to be given at least a year and a couple of transfer windows. And let's see if Enoch is going to act different and if they're going to back him. So we'll see. But more than the actual results right now, I want to see performances. I want to see players improve. And I want to have hope for the future, saying if this is the building year, forget the results. But next season or season after, I want to see our youngsters improve. I want to see a system in place that we actually can, that we can improve on as we go forward. I don't want to see this season just be a throwaway season where nobody's improving, and next season we're in the same boat. I want to see some building blocks. So hopefully that's what I'm going to see in the future.
Fair enough. Well said, Eugene. Well said. Philly, go for it, man.
All right. First and foremost, I'm going to look at this now. I'm going to say, first and foremost, I'm going to start with Bentancur and Paulinho in the midfield. And as the course of the game goes on, I'm going to throw on a Sarr or throw on a Bergval or throw on Archie Gray, because it's a last throw of the dice and see what they can do. If they can bring the team forward, that they can change the course of a game. Fair play to them. I'm not expecting anything from them. Like I said, it's a last chance saloon. See what happens if something happens. I'm not expecting anything from them because they are what they are. They're young and inconsistent players. And the squad here is overfilled with inconsistent players. We've got a few good players, whether it's 5 good players, and the rest of them are all passengers in my eyes. They sit on the coattails of the good ones and then they hang on in there. So Thomas Frank, like I said, is working miracles with what he's got. And really and truly, I'm happy with the team the way they are. I'm not up and down. I'm just where I am. I'm just
calm.
around.
You're calm. You're calm.
Yeah, I'm just calm down. I'm not up and down. I'm not going through every game and motion every game. And mate, like I said to you, I washed my hands. You saw me in the summer, so did Nige. I washed my hands off the team. I said, look, mate, I'm fully behind Thomas Frank. The first year, it's going to be tough. He's not going to have time on the training pitch because we're playing Champions League. But remember, we won the Europa League last season, so we're going to play these games a week. So I knew what position we were going to be in from last season. And I even said this in group chats, by the way, back in May. So people believe me, this is months in advance. Well, we're not playing games here. I'm not even going to be sugarcoating it. I did this months in advance, by the way.
You checked out a long time ago, Philly, man. You've checked out a long time.
Oh, you know me, DANalyst. You know me very well, bro. I checked out a long time ago.
I will still challenge any opinions, though. I won't let you scot-free, though. And to be honest, Philly, fair enough, man, because each to their own, right? Each to their own to everybody. Now, for me, I've got no patience left. I've supported this club for over 40 years, or whatever it is. And my patience has run out. I want Spurs to win, and I will demand it. and I want improvement. And I'm sorry, that's just me as a fan. I want to enjoy watching Spurs. I want to see wins. I want to have some chest when I talk about my club, and I'm going to demand it. That's my stance and that's my style, and I'll continue it. And I think after that, I think we're going to wrap up. Big up to Ghosted as well. You've been in the show most of the evening. Big up to you, man. Thank you. Thank you for everybody who's joined us tonight. Smash the like button. Please go over to Nige and give him a sub. Let me just bring up his link in the chat. There you go. Give him a sub as well.
You think dirty DANalyst, you know I've got my own YouTube channel, wouldn't it? It's called Blockbuster Movies, Games and Television, man. Come on over and smash a like, DANalyst, I'm going to have you on a show as well, I know your baby keeps you up at night, man. The fair play to you, bro, but I want you on the show. I do want you on
subscribe to Philly's channel as well, man. We need to get your link, man.
As well, having both of you and Eugene, you're fully welcome to come on if you want to, man. Talk about some movies, games and television. Away from Tottenham Hotspurs, by the way. Tottenham 3-0, man.
I like it.
Perfect.
Big up to Soul Boy. Is that Soul? Let me have a look. Hold on a second. Soul Boy's in the chat as well. Big up to you. Big up to you, Soul Boy. Big up to Andrew as well, being here all night. Thank you so much. And yeah, I'm going to wrap it up unless anyone wants to say anything quickly. It's been a great show, man. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, Eugene, smile, man. Life is way too short, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
You got a good smile on your face, man. Smile.
I'm telling you,
bro.
For me, football is a getaway from the daily life. So it's international break. And that's why these performance, I just want something to look forward to. So when there's no football to look forward to, I get a little sad. So plus I have a big game in the league today.
Yeah.
My team has a big game, so I'm getting mentally prepared.
Good luck, man. Good luck on that big game.
Good luck, man. Good luck.
By the way, I love the November break, by the way, because my birthday falls in this time, so no Spurs to ruin it for me. So I'm quite happy.
Happy birthday, Philly, mate. Happy birthday.
Nice.
Thank you very much. I could be a lot worse. I could be my brother, who had to face Chelsea on his birthday and got the usual treatment of Tottenham versus Chelsea. So I'm quite happy to be avoiding the international break where I have no Spurs ruining my birthday.
Happy birthday, Philly.
Right. Happy birthday, mate. And big up to everyone again. Big up. Cheers, Nige. Cheers, Philly, for jumping on and having this debate with us. And Eugene, big up, man, to you as well.
Thanks,
big
guys.
up, chat. Don't know when we're back. We'll be on the lane yet because of my baby. So it's a bit up and down at the moment because, she's unsettled. She's little. So I can't commit. So hopefully not too long once she settles into some routines and we'll get back doing the Tuesday shows, be on the lane. It will be back at some point, but anyway, I'll try and come on live when I can, and with Nige and hopefully other YouTubers as well, get them involved. So good night, everybody. Enjoy your weekend, and we've got to look forward to that Arsenal match next weekend, eh? Good night, guys. Big up.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Come on, you Spurs.